Some would say it's shocking. Not really. Everything has been largely
Look,
unsurprising.
the only person shocked is Kaya.
Yeah, and I don't. Well, and if that occurred, it didn't occur on video this last week.
Oh no, it happened. It happened on video. There
No,
was
no,
another
this last
incident.
week. Oh, again?
No, it happened again. He muted the mic so that you wouldn't hear her. I'm not shitting you.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I've been kind of keeping. I haven't been keeping full track of that since TwitchCon
Me either.
because
Me either. But I just heard about it.
there's a number of folks that had some comments on TwitchCon that they said, it's probably not a safe place to go. Probably not the best idea for female creators to maybe go to this thing because the security has never been really good, and they've got a bit of a track record for sexual assaults. Well, lo and behold,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh
there's
yeah.
this girl. She goes by Emiru.
There was a bald sage on the internet that predicted this would happen towards the end of last month. Actually, less than a month ago. I think it was on the 30th of September. He predicted.
Hmm.
Said imploring those who would go to not go because it would not be safe.
And here we are.
And day one,
Yeah.
it is not safe.
Now, everybody's heard about this, and if somehow you haven't, I'm genuinely kind of surprised. So, long and short, Emiru is some streamer with a lot of large following, cute girl, and as she is an online personality and cute, she's got. I couldn't even guess how many stalkers. I've only ever had to deal with one, and that was annoying. So, you know, that being said, TwitchCon happened this weekend, and she's doing her meet and greet thing. Some rando comes up, gets in her face, and tries to kiss her. The story at the time is Twitch staff then got him away from there, and he was shortly thereafter arrested. This is utterly incorrect. Her own staff, that being the one security guard she had because the other had been banned by Twitch staff the year prior for protecting her against a stalker.
Yeah,
And
grabbed him and held him as he wouldn't fucking leave
yeah,
after
until the
following
cops
her
got there,
around.
and then the
Until
cops
the
took him.
cops got there. He did the right thing.
Yeah. So
Basically, a
anyway,
citizen's arrest at that
so
point.
the remainder of the statement, is, of course, is that this man is banned forever, and he was
What?
immediately turned
Hold
over.
on, you
Wait,
skipped
no,
a
no,
step
no, no,
there.
no, 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 no. I'm doing the timeline in order. So
That's not
that's
in
the
order.
Yeah, it is. That's the statements.
No.
No, well, no, that is. That's what it was according to Twitch, not official, just people at Twitch. He's been turned over to the police, and he's going to be banned permanently. Very shortly thereafter, that was updated to no, 30 days, and that puts us very shortly after the incident. Then Emiru releases a statement debunking basically everything, explaining that that was not Twitch staff, that was not Twitch security that got him out of there, and that was not Twitch staff that aided her. It was her security that got him out of there, and it was her manager and friend
You
that
escorted
took
her
care of her.
away. Yeah,
Twitch staff,
yeah.
according to Emiru, the person assaulted, are reported to have been elsewhere laughing at the situation having occurred.
Well, so one of I think it was one of her cohort overheard a couple of the Twitch hired security guards at their booth or whatever. And one of them mentioned that it happened, and the other one chuckled about it, and changed the subject.
Yeah. So,
Well, chuckled and changed the subject. I shouldn't say chuckled about it, but chuckled and changed the subject. Which
yeah.
which again, so that the major point there is this is while this has happened, like so they clearly knew that it happened, and nobody was sent to check on her
Right.
at
And I haven't
all
even finished the
at that
timeline
point.
because it just keeps
Yeah,
getting
keep going,
worse. So
keep
she
going.
releases her statement, which debunks all of the statements made by Twitch up to that time. By this point, the individual, either right before her statement was released or right after, was banned permanently from the platform. And obviously the
Because of
venue.
course, being banned from Twitch is the part that matters.
Right.
But continue.
So she releases a statement saying that he was not arrested, it was her staff, And in addition to that, he was not arrested, but just allowed to go free until her manager kept bringing it up, and they brought in the police, and he was finally arrested for the assault.
Yeah, and there's video of him walking out of the place.
Yeah, so basically every
there's that other
statement that was
video.
made by Twitch staff or Twitch itself completely counteracted by actual live video recordings.
And also, everything that Emeru said basically corroborated on video and by third-party witnesses.
Absolutely that.
Yeah.
So,
Dan Clancy needs to go.
I think one of the things that people should keep in mind is, so like all of these conventions, I haven't actually been to any of these for any. I'm not talking about Twitch convention. I'm not talking like it could be your furry convention, your Comic-Con, any of these conventions. The weirdos show up, right? The closet shut-ins who sit in their basement and jack off to whatever the fuck show up to these things. And the little, desocialized individuals that they are, do the thing that unsocialized individuals tend to do. On top of that, when you start talking about things like your standard convention, there's a whole bunch of bad behavior that's pretty normal at these things, because there's essentially that degree of anonymity. And by the way, they something like a Comic-Con, they'll have the booth babes, they'll have all this other stuff, and they'll basically they're going to get assaulted because it's an anonymous thing. In the case of something like a TwitchCon, right? This is a double.
Well, there's an extra layer
streamers.
of context to this as well, too, which I hadn't even gotten to. It is that Emiru was forced by a contract to do this meet and greet. She didn't have an option.
She didn't want to do it. She was forced.
I mean, again, right? Like that's not a surprise, right? Twitch walked around and handed people some pretty lucrative contracts. That's saying that's neither here nor there. I think the bigger thing that Twitch needs to be kind of
they banned her personal security guard, her favorite security.
Well,
and then they said you have to go and do this anyway.
If Twitch had been providing security, right?
Exactly.
Like the thing is that streamers are in a unique scenario, right? Where they're streamers, YouTubers, any of these other things. The people who are sitting there and doing this, the people who attend these things, feel, I think, in a lot of ways like they have a personal relationship with those streamers. And
it's all parasocial garbage.
It's all parasocial garbage. And so, like, that's a thing that Twitch should have been aware was a risk and likely to happen.
Especially after it happened just a week prior and just 30 days prior. And at the last
year
TwitchCon.
prior.
And at the last TwitchCon.
And the TwitchCon before and the TwitchCon before.
And it's going to keep on happening. And it's very difficult.
I think I might have some good news for you there. I think it's a very real possibility that there will never be another sexual assault at a TwitchCon.
Because there won't be one.
Right. But anyway,
really?
It might be the last TwitchCon.
Very, very real. It's been such a shit show. There are literally multiple sexual assaults every TwitchCon, and have been ever since it's become a public event.
They might have passed the point of break even.
Yeah,
on liability versus availability.
Well, exactly that. Like they have to insure these things, and this is a big public blow up, and that doesn't do well for you having to pay insurance on this shit.
From the PR blowback plus the insurance payout plus the insurance premium change, plus the venues not necessarily wanting to be associated with it, they might have a really hard time marketing it to their to whatever committee internally the next go around as a way as something that will pay for itself.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a lot harder getting corporate partners for something like this too. It's developing quite the nasty stigma.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of standing next to the guy covered in shit coming up out of this.
Pretty much. So this could be the end of an event that's basically been poorly run since its inception.
But I'll say this though about what Steve said before. I must need to like really up my game, talking shit or something. Because every time I've gone to present at a conference, I have not been sexually assaulted, and clearly that is an issue.
And I'll also
I'll
add,
work on it.
I've been to a Golden Demon convention, which it ties into another current socially interesting thing, that being
I've been
Space
sexually
Jam.
assaulted twice, so it's not fun.
Wait, while you've been presenting at a convention?
No, not at a convention.
Okay.
Well, not at a convention. One time was I went to a girl's engagement party, and
Oh.
she, while I was pouring myself a soda, she walked up behind me, reached in between my legs and grabbed my balls, and then informed me that there was a closet down the hallway if I wanted to meet her there in 10 minutes. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Of course, my first girlfriend, she decided she wanted to have sex, and I wasn't necessarily okay with it. I was okay with it, a few times after that. I kind of had to deal with the emotional ramifications of it, but that was also wasn't really in the mood and hadn't actually done anything with anyone. And she decided to assert herself. So, like, it happens, and a lot of times sexual assault for males, as much as it's kind of a joke, because a lot of people don't turn around. Like, it doesn't happen all that often, and we're supposed to always be into it. It does happen.
Well, it does happen actually often enough. It's just that we're told we have to deal with it.
But
when I went back and sat down at the table with my wife and everybody else, they fucking laughed at me at the engagement party. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's fucking retarded. No,
well, you're a man though, so it's not. It's different for you. So it's just funny that it happened to you.
On the same subject, it's about a 60-40 split. Rapes and sexual assaults between men and women.
Yeah.
Women get about 60% share. Men get about 40% share. And the reason why that 40% share isn't brought up is because we're just told to deal with it. But
well, yeah,
that's
you take
those
emotions and you take them and you shove them deep down. All that hurt and all those emotions, you take them, you shove them deep, just as hard as you can, deep down.
I mean, I agree with that.
There you
go.
Save
it up
like
for,
engaging with your emotions is a terrible fucking strategy.
Well, you see, getting over things is a good idea. It's just that being told to do it on someone else's timeline is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back into this, there's a post here which is something that it directly states what I've been thinking about this incident personally. The obviously the Twitch incident, not Steve's hot for teacher moment. And I'll just read the tweet here. It's from Emerald Apple. There's so many weirdos, including the Twitch CEO, downplaying the assault on Emiru with comments like she should have controlled her community, it wasn't that bad, she wasn't hurt, or it wasn't really assault. Meet and greets with inadequate security are among the most dangerous spots for any public figure. Emiru could have easily suffered the same fate as Christina Grimmie, who was shot 3 times in seconds, twice in the chest, once in the head, by an unhinged fan at a poorly secured venue in 2016. It took moments for her life to end, and I don't think people understand how badly this could have gone. Twitch must be held accountable.
There's a photo.
Those responsible for the lack of security need to face real consequences.
There's a photo that really hammers this home, where it appears that the gentleman involved, the male involved, has something in his hand, and it looks like a pen, but it also does somewhat resemble a knife.
Well, I've seen John Wick and I've seen Joker. I know what you can do with a pen.
Yeah, but I mean, just like it looks like, he has what looks to be a pen. That's as a smudge in the video freeze frame as it is, it's big enough to be a knife that would still do some significant damage. He could have easily, with the amount of time he had before anyone reacted and got hands on him, he had enough time to take her head off, like with a small knife.
Mm-hmm.
He got through multiple guards in theory should have been there, and a whole line, and was able to do that. He was able to bypass all of that. How? They fucked up. That's how.
Well, and there are also videos.
And Dan Clancy,
highlighting
that dumbass motherfucker, that Hassan Gunner, he was doing shit dancing somewhere else, if memory
Yeah, he was
serves.
partying with some people at. Oh, he was partying with
Yeah,
some
well,
influencers at their house or something.
yes, and there's that one picture of him where he looks like he's about to, oddly enough, sexually assault someone else.
Hmm.
I,
Well,
I'm pushing a
there
little
you
bit
go.
of my anger for that dipshit on top of that characterization, but like you get the idea. Like this fucking psychopath was somewhere else.
Well, he's got his priorities.
Yeah, he has his priorities, and there's a major security incident. Because let me put it like this: like I mentioned doing toxic conferences. Not one conference I've been to so far has there been an incident that merited any kind of mention in public, ever. Period. Every conference I've gone to, everyone's been respectful and calm. And admittedly, like the majority of them were academic, like purely academic. But then there's the Intech shows where they got a trade show of people from all over the fucking planet
Mm-hmm.
showing up. The biggest one in the world for the plastics industry. That includes manufacturing.
Well,
So like we take up the entire Orange County Convention Center, the entire fucking thing. It's a giant place. Not one sexual assault.
here's
And I
another
know that the
interesting thing.
parasocials are coming out,
Another
but like
two
you've got to
interesting
know
things.
your audience. You've got to know your audience, and you've got to plan for them.
Well, I've got
These, it's not
I've
like they
got
don't know
two
they're showing up.
really, really great examples for you that tie in as well of how this can
Yeah.
be done correctly, and then I'll give my own, which I was about to the Games Day thing.
Go ahead. Yeah,
But
go ahead.
both in Las Vegas, both occurring very closely between each other. The one occurring at the exact same time as basically the sexual assault awards, the porn awards, that being SHOT Show. And SHOT Show every year. The only hitch is that people complain about the most mundane of things, like there wasn't this cool new thing I was hoping for, or this company was kind of an asshole to these people.
Mm-hmm.
It's so achingly mundane. And then the other, SEMA, just before. Both of these shows, enormous trade shows. Both of these shows got booth babes. Both of these shows are
Yep.
largely, male audiences, but there are women that go, and we don't hear about these problems. You just kind of don't. And my own anecdote.
I should also mention. Antec also got booth babes. Also largely a male audience because plastics engineering.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Your own experience.
Yeah, my own being that I've been to a Games Day, a Games Workshop Games Day in Baltimore some years back, and great experience. As we know, all hail Space King, no girls allowed.
Of course.
Even though,
Yeah.
that's them's the rules. There were still some girls there.
Of course.
Just getting along great, having a good time, playing games, painting minis, and enjoying the show, having fun. And I didn't hear about any weird shit from that. And I haven't really from any of these three shows. I mean, again, the normal complaints like they're charging too much for this or that, or the parking could have been better, or maybe they should have had some better food here or there. But achingly mundane, ordinary shit, the kind of things you expect to hear. And since we're on the topic of these gatherings, there was another one actually just yesterday. They say it might be the biggest in the history of America. I'm a little incredulous, mostly because many of the pictures used for this rally, this biggest nationwide rally in American history, they kind of have been using the videos from the 2017 Boston protests for this No Kings rally, and everybody just keeps using the same video over and over again, even though it's been called out multiple times. Like this whole No Kings thing, you've got your geriatrics, you've got your retired people, you got your boomers. I mean, you've even got a couple of costumed individuals there in their blow up Tyrannosaurus deals, making a grand time of it all. And I've seen some
It's gonna boom.
I've seen some of the dumbest comments about this. Like, Trump doesn't want to see this. This is the last thing Trump wants in America. It's like, no, actually, you dumb fucking piece of shit. This is literally what he wants. He wants people to just be able to go out and not be shooting ICE agents, not be shooting cops, not be setting buildings on fire, not be looting, just out there expressing your opinion, as the Bill of Rights says you are fully capable of doing. There's nobody pretty much on the right doing anything about this other than saying you're acting like a bunch of fools. Now, that said...
Well, and I would say that, like, that's actually a huge mistake in terms of comms from the Trump.
Well, I was about to go into that, actually, yes.
Right, like, they should come out, the Dems are sitting there and going out, oh, you know, we're this powerful, look at all this action that we have. And Trump's response should be, the Democrats are silly people doing silly things. I think it's great that they want to do whatever they want to go do. The No Kings protest is welcome. You know, you just be magnanimous about it. Instead, he decided to sit there and post himself wearing a crown, fucking flying a fighter jet, dumping shit on them. And that's like, God damn it.
It is
like
funny,
you can humiliate
but it is
people
kind of
by sitting there and
it's a missed opportunity.
It's a huge missed opportunity because if he was magnanimous about the whole thing and he just basically called them silly people doing silly things and was completely dismissive of it.
Isn't that what a plane of diarrhea does?
What's that?
Isn't that what a plane dropping diarrhea does?
I disagree. I think that's yeah. I understand. I
know, but come on.
But like, why is it that he can't just for 1 minute? I'm not even saying take the high ground.
Have some
right?
tact.
I don't even want to say it's tact. Have some tactics, right? Just turn
Sure.
around and be like, hey, there's an individual who's posturing how powerful and significant their social movement is. And then you should turn around and be like, yup, it's a whole bunch of people. Like, he should be the one sitting there and being like, I am so glad these people are protesting outside the ICE facility in silly little costumes. What silly little people?
Oh, we're on that. I'm sorry.
What
I was
a
talking,
silly,
I was
what
talking
a silly little man right there. What a silly.
I was
little
talking No
goose.
Kings. Never mind.
Well, I mean, it's all silly
I'm not
people,
talking.
but yeah.
No, I mean it's the same thing though, right? Like
It
if
really
the
is, though.
Democrats want to
That's
do
the
it,
other
just,
point that I wanted to get to, actually,
say
is
it's
the
goofy
same thing.
and silly and be like
I do need to clarify on something for that because
laughing about it.
Specific to the people in the costumes. One, they have at least one air vent that has a fan drawing air in. Two, those you should spray some liquid skunk. The Israeli military grade shit. Don't go with the stink spray. Go with liquid skunk. That way they paint the inside of the costume with the inside of their stomach. And three, flex tape has a nice wide patch that will more or less fit perfectly the size of that vent. Also, one piece of duct tape or Gorilla tape across the zipper near the top will make it near impossible to zip down normally without ripping the suit open.
I don't have a problem. Like I don't think that they should do anything. Like I think it's great that they've got the suits. I just think that the response and the tact.
I'm talking about like the other people, the counter protesters, I guess.
I just like let them do their thing. If
Well,
the
the problem
left
is they've been
sit there and
blocking.
jump up and down and wear dinosaur suits, or have a whole bunch of boomers going down and walk down the street because they got nothing better to do.
Oh, that part's fine.
Saturday, that's great. That's fucking fantastic. That's part of the American way. And you can sit there
I think
and
the term
you
is
say,
stroll because
hey,
they use strollers.
it's great, you silly people,
so
you silly little
the problem-
gooses doing silly little gooses things.
The problem with the ICE protests is they are actively blocking the function of the facility and the personnel.
and that's fine, right? That's a separate issue. But like when they sit there
Sure,
and they
okay.
like you should. It's not about tact. It's not about taking the high ground. It's about humiliating them in their own way, right? Like that's the problem. They've chosen to do something that's ridiculous, and that's great that they're doing something ridiculous. Don't try to like one up it. Just sit there and mock them for that. Like sit there and basically the messaging of the Trump administration should be the Democrats are not serious people.
Well, on that note, that actually goes into something else I was wanting to cover just from, 2 days ago. And I'll be quoting from fan of the show, Yasser Ali, from his post here, saying, HuffPost asked the White House who suggested Budapest as the location for President Trump and President Putin's next summit. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt replied, "Your mom did." White House Communications Director Stephen Chung replied, "Your mom." And all I could say is, this is the way to show journalists the kind of respect that they're due. I feel, and that really communicates things publicly, at least in my opinion.
I don't know. Every single time I don't see them taking the approach that I would be doing, which is the old Southern refrain of "bless your heart," right?
That's fair. That's completely fair.
That is when the Democrats come up. The point should not be like you sit there and you do things like your mom. You pull all these kind of jokes.
Aren't you just a silly goose?
Right.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I know. I do. I personally do that one a whole lot, and it really pisses people off.
Right, exactly. And that's what you should be doing, because then they'd get really mad, and then they try to show that they're serious, and you'd either bait them into doing something that you can start fucking arresting them for, or you're going to end up building public sentiment that they're not worthwhile. But like, when you turn around and you talk about sitting there and doing what they're doing, whether it's the "your mom" jokes or stuff like that, it's not. You are not. I'm not even saying you have to take the high ground. I'm just saying you're not taking the, like, we're adults in the room having adult humor, right? Like, that's juvenile shit.
Well, to be entirely fair,
mock people all you want, but like, mock them from a professional, socially advantageous position.
But beyond that, there's something else related to this, which ties the two incidents together, or I guess the three even, really. And that would be, and this is something that I mentioned as well earlier, not here, just on Twitter, but Mystery Grove, great follow, by the way, very worth your while. I'll read this off here. It's simple, it's straightforward, and couldn't agree more. People mocking the No Kings protest are coping. As we saw with the Floyd riots, the ability to assemble large groups, whatever their composition, can paralyze any mid-sized city. They have professional organizers, trained and armed, security, etc. You are watching them train. And there is a very, very valid point to that. So someone is making these things happen. They're making the No Kings protests happen. They're making the Antifa monies flow to Antifa members. I can't just go to Antifa.org and put in, "I am an Antifa. Here's my address. Send me a check." It doesn't work that way.
Well, so on that subject specifically, there's signs out there for where to donate.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically to Antifa out there, not to the No Kings. There's other signs out there that were specific.
Sure.
Significantly, and what that means is, and Andy No put out a post earlier, I think it was today, maybe it was yesterday, about it, pointing out that the person who was involved in collecting funds for one of those was specifically Antifa. And what that means is that there's somebody collecting money, and that means you have the ability to not only tag that person and take them out as foreign terrorist operation contributor, but then anybody who is materially supporting a foreign terrorist organization, that means anybody donating,
offering,
they are all now criminally liable too.
Like the Lawyers Guild.
They are criminally liable as well if they are materially supporting a foreign terrorist, a designated foreign terrorist organization.
Quite literally,
the DFTO is persona non grata when it comes to shit like donating your time, your money, or your assets.
Yeah, you stay the fuck away from that shit because it is radioactive.
And remember, transactions are trackable, and if you send money directly to these people, you're on the short list for a fun visit.
Oh, and
as you should be.
And a secondary note: online transactions are even more trackable. So,
also, any of them there's plenty of them that are probably going through ActBlue, which is going to be more interesting. I think that's something that should at some point be double checked on, especially post designation for DFTO.
Absolutely.
post designation financial culpability there. So we'll see where that ends up. I'm hoping that they've either I'm hoping that they've either like unfucked their shit as a donation mechanism, Act Blue, which I don't have any faith in that being the case,
Yeah, good luck.
or they get collapsed from this specifically. Now, they'll probably try and claim like, oh, we didn't know. It's like, yeah, sure. Rico, someone else knew, you're caught.
Yeah, oopsies. Oh, speaking of oopsies, as often happens, we have some of the diehard leftists that hate Donald Trump ever so much that are now celebrating something that he did, months and months ago. In this
yes,
case,
they are.
They are so happy.
From January.
It finally happened. By God, we've been asking and asking and asking. Those evil Icemans, the ice blasting Iceman mutant people that are kidnapping the Maryland men and sending them to Djibouti or wherever. We are gonna make them wear body cameras. Well, guess what?
Which
Too bad that already happened.
I love. That makes me so happy.
It's awesome. I like that.
Like
I think that body cameras.
I am
the best
so
thing
surprised that they are not wearing body cameras.
Oh well, hold on, Steve.
Hey,
hold on, Steve. Yeah, because 8 months ago, Donald Trump put out an order that ICE would need to be equipped with body cameras.
That they must be wearing. They must wear body cams.
Yeah.
They have been required to wear them for the last 8 months.
Yeah.
Actually, a little longer than the last 8 months, if memory serves. It was early February, end of January.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first couple weeks kind of things that he did was you guys need to wear body cams.
Like, and the funny thing is that it always ends up like it has worked so much against all the civil rights people. It's not even
body
hilarious.
Oh yeah, it has not gone well for everyone.
I think that is irony, of course, is that it was originally supposed to prove police misconduct, and the end result was that it ended up exonerating like all of it.
That's the thing that was the best thing aside from the $2 billion plus in damages. That was the best thing that came out of BLM. Was the fact that they required everyone to wear body cams after that. It's like just in every fucking we get these freeze frames that characterize certain incidents that are more or less used to mock the people that were crying about how often police abuse happens. It's like you motherfuckers needed to manufacture shit for what's his name going to get a sub at 2 a.m.
Yep.
Like or the fucking noose in the garage for NASCAR. Get the fuck over it, you guys. Everyone's trying to move on, and you guys are desperate to pump life back into racism as much as you can because you're grifting off of it.
Absolutely desperate.
Like it's insane to me how frequently that comes out as the case, and we're still seeing that kind of shit happening.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
And kind of roughly related to that, and just the acceptability of things and, moving on and all that. There's, honestly, I could just quote the management team over at Blue Sky. They, sometime back mentioned how they feel that they're a platform for everyone and that they would welcome the White House and White House staff to join their platform.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I have some wonderful news for you. If you're not a Twitter user, maybe you don't go on Truth Social. Maybe you're not like Blue Sky. You're one of those people that just likes to hang out there. That's your place. Well, you can now get your updates from all of your favorite White House and White House-related departments. In this case, the White House, the Department of War, and Homeland Security. They've all opened up accounts over there on Blue Sky that you can give them a follow. They've posted up some really fun videos saying hi to all the users over there. It's personal stuff. I mean, it's touching.
Amazing,
really.
Compilation.
It is. It's really touching how much thought they put in to, making people feel like they're part of a community.
There is some touching going on.
Probably. This is true. This is very true. So apparently, from what I'm to understand, the people over there are quite apoplectic that their sweet little home has been invaded.
It's funny because it wasn't their sweet little home at first. I was
No.
over there for a little bit. I even was able to shitpost on there with just memes. Wasn't even like trying to be mean to anybody. I can't even remember which one it was, but yeah, they kicked my ass out of there I think with a grand total of like 30 posts.
Not a lot.
Like
Not a lot.
they do not tolerate any, like, I think it might have been one reply to one random person, but that's why you can't find me there anymore.
Hmm.
I say anymore as if it was recent. I think it was now years ago. It's ridiculous.
Indeed. Now there's another brewing drama that I'm not seeing a lot of people in our I'm seeing some people in our circles talking about it. It's getting some play, and I'm glad to hear Milo speaking about it specifically.
Ah,
And there were some texts. We spoke about this last week. Some texts that were
oh, there
leaked.
were, there were.
And well,
I
you
got
know
I
what?
got some I got something to say on that.
I will let you say it
I
first,
don't
but
care.
I don't either.
It's a big fat fucking I don't care.
I'm with
You
JD
dumbass retard
Vance.
faggots.
I am
You
with JD
dumbass
Vance on this
retarded
one.
faggots.
And
Look,
JD
That's
says
my
we've got a lot
response.
more important shit to worry about than some fucking college kids and some fucking texts.
well,
Yeah,
you
it
got to
wasn't
keep in
even
mind
they weren't
why
even
is this?
affiliated. It wasn't even an affiliated chat with anything official. It was just
Why
college
is
kids
it
talking shit.
the real? Well, it wasn't. There was a lot of older adults, but that's not the point. The point is, why is this news? And the reason
That's
why
the other
this is
thing.
news, the reason why this is news is because about a month ago, Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck, and
Yeah.
the right turned around to the left and said, "Your fucking rhetoric is what caused this man to die." And so
Okay, I got something to say
the
on
left
that.
has attempted to dodge. You've got a thing to say on everything, so shut the fuck up for a minute.
No, I gotta say something
The
about that too.
left, the left has turned around, and their response to this was to dodge. It was watch. It's like watching dodgeball, right? They dodge, duck, dive, and dodge, right? And that's basically what they fucking did with the fact that they are responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. Their language, their rhetoric, and it was directly echoed
Well, their
on
shooter.
their shooter was echoing that language on the bullets. So the reason that this is there is because they want to point to bad language on the right. It first off, it does two things for them. One, they always like to accuse the right of being fucking racist, sexist, Nazis, whatever the fuck it is that they want to do. And so this kind of confirms their pre-existing belief system. But more importantly, they took a really big L with Charlie Kirk's death, like a really, really big L with Charlie Kirk's death. And
Well, yeah, he died.
they have been attempting to sit there and prove that it's not just them. And so they're sitting there and looking at this chat, and they've got things that are that are clearly jokes, right? They're not
Well, they're all
something where
stripped of
somebody's
context.
they're not turning around and saying this man is a fascist and is engaged in hate speech. They're not saying that the right is engaged in negative activity. They're cracking a joke at themselves. They're cracking a joke with hyperbolic language. And the left is making hay out of this because this is the closest they can get to validating that it's not just them. That's why this
Let
is
me go ahead and springboard off of that point specifically. The not much part. They had 7 months of messages to go through, tens of thousands.
Yep.
They found 251 things they didn't like. I'm sorry, but if they found a single fucking hard R in there, they would have had that on the front page, uncensored, specifically for the shock value. They didn't
Sure
find
enough.
a single fucking hard R in there. I bet you they didn't even find many of the soft A's at the end. Instead, they found a bunch of retards and faggots. And I gotta tell you, that's just about how everyone speaks. There's gonna be enough people out there
That
pearl
is
clutching.
also
I don't
accurate,
do
by the
that,
way.
but it's like they found a bunch of retards and faggots in there, and they got all uppity about it. Or they found was the one guy said like, oh, I love Hitler. That was clearly in response to someone else saying something about him not. Like that's clearly someone doing the agree and amplify bit of trolling. Like it's so blatantly obvious. You know, the fucking the reason why someone's going, hey, you want to know a joke? Women's rights. The reason why that's funny is because it's offensive. Specifically, because the person saying something stupid like that's out of character for them. Because they're not actually a fucking misogynist. Like, that's the joke. And the fact that that extra level is just 10 steps beyond the ability of a leftoid to comprehend really screams more about their inability to function in society.
Well, and again, right, like
and then again, we're talking about journalists.
I really do think that it has more to do with the fact that they're trying to say, look, the right does it too, than anything else.
Well, they're trying to fuck the news cycle up, too.
Like everything else, whenever the left sits there and comes out and talks about anything, they basically, everything they talk about lacks context. I do not understand how they remove context from everything they talk about.
Because it all makes it sound stupid.
Well, because when you have the context, it makes sense, and you can make sense of it. It's like, oh, this happened because of this. When you have no context, it's like, oh, she was actually, like Irina Zarutska. You know, the context being she was thinking thoughts into his brain. So obviously he had to kill her.
Well, I saw somebody post something that I think is really quite admirable and accurate, and it's that the left is probably more right on more facts than the right, right? They've got more individual facts that they know and agree upon that are correct than the right does. But the things that they are wrong about are civilization defining.
Okay, there's a bit of a fair argument in that.
There's, of things to be wrong about, those are big ones, wouldn't you say?
I mean, yeah, okay. It could be like, yeah, the sky is definitely, not blue.
The sky's orange.
It is
sky's bright orange. And clouds are shaped like flowers, not mushrooms.
What have you?
It's just, little boys can become little girls, and little girls can become little boys. Sure, in your fucking cartoon, but in reality land,
or
no.
In the books that they insist must be in school libraries.
Well, you see, those are different because they also include two little boys sucking each other's dicks, or a little boy sucking an older man's dick,
or at the very least, giving explicit instructions on how to join Grindr as an underage person.
Those two,
those kind of things.
Yeah, and of course those are promulgated in school libraries, largely at the behest of people like Scott Wiener over in California, who every time he comes up, as I did just bring him up right now, I'll mention he lowered older people enticing and then sodomizing younger people.
Yeah, basically anytime that Wiener comes
up,
something bad happens to a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that double entendre is absolutely
lowering sexually assaulting and raping minors from a felony to a misdemeanor, because apparently that somehow disproportionately affects the alphabet community, which should make some people ask questions.
Just out of curiosity, was he the one that got the thing put through where if you don't tell people you have AIDS, give it to them and they're sentenced to death?
I believe he was either a co-sponsor or a big proponent of it, and he definitely voted for it.
Yeah, that's a fun bill,
I don't remember if he wrote
AIDS,
that
you
one.
can just go around and just kill people, and it's fine.
Yeah. That was it. Was let's also lower that one from a felony to a misdemeanor. And then remember, this is not just like, oh, we had sex, I didn't know, or I forgot to tell you. It's maliciously infecting someone else with AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually go with, if we had sex and you didn't tell me, and it's life-altering event shit. Yeah, that you are just as liable.
The specific thing that was lowered, that was the intention to lower it by law by category, was intentionally and maliciously infecting someone else with AIDS.
Yeah,
that level of mens rea should never. For that kind of life-altering thing, that should be a felony. Period. That's like throwing a rock at a cop's head. like that's actually still lethal force. Giving
Yep.
someone else AIDS is lethal force. That should be attempted murder as far as I'm concerned.
It seems like it is to me.
Because again, intentionally infecting someone else with AIDS, knowing that you're going to be giving this person a lethal virus, terminal infection, lethal virus. Until there's a cure for it, that's what it is.
Yep. That's long and short of it. So yeah, there you go. But
taking PrEP every day and living until 45 is not going to be the answer.
yeah, and let's just be real. That is no kind of life at all.
They missed that part. It still doesn't stop your life from being shortened. Like,
Yeah.
it's not shortened as badly, but it's still shortened.
Yeah, you're still going to die because your systems fall apart because they've been literally destroyed. Congratulations. But anyway, speaking of destroyed systems, back to what we were talking about here, and
Hey,
and the leaks related to those texts. So we
Yeah.
didn't really know precisely where they came from for some while, and
I think we still don't necessarily know exactly where they came
We
from.
don't
There's still
know
just the
for
one dude's
sure.
name that's speculated.
we don't know for sure, but it would appear that
There
they
is a
have.
name out there.
There is, and it's a name that many would not have initially suspected, but as time has passed, he has become less and less clean in things. That being Gavin Mario Wax. And
Yeah,
it might
that's
just
the name.
it might just be some really incredibly petty bullshit. And I'll just break it down
Yeah,
for you
that's
real
what it would
quick
be.
because a lot of people haven't caught this on it. Apparently Trump met with a friend of Gavin's before he met with Gavin. And that friend is the one who got turned out in all of this. And that might be what it's all about. And that's so incredible that that it is actually credible. Because things have kind of come out. You know, we've got Gavin in relatively recent days speaking of himself being a strong Christian. And then in less recent days, though still recent, of being,
Interesting.
Thoroughly faithful Jew. So are you a Jew? Are you Christian? Are you perhaps he's a Messianic Jew? I've never heard him mention this, but maybe he is. Who knows? Or maybe he's just not a very honest man. So in the past few days, Milo Yiannopoulos, if you're unfamiliar, very worth your follow these days. He is many days clean of sodomy, from what we're to understand. Congratulations, Milo.
Okay. Yeah, I think he probably still swallows his mic on a regular basis.
Who can say? Who can say? Privacy of your own home and whatnot. Anyway, he has been on top of this, and he's been one of the first people to put this out there, and he's right. You know what I'm just going to read from him here directly. This is from just day before yesterday, and it'll tie into something. It's a beautiful segue into something else that's just recently occurred. So anyway, betraying your friends, burning the house down, hurting everyone around you, all because you didn't get a photo with the person you wanted. I mean, that's not even gay. It's literally just female behavior. The alcohol has fucked their hormones. The only word for them is bitches.
Now, I gotta go ahead and point something out here because I've just been perusing on the Googles as you do.
Sure.
The suggested search being Gavin Wax religion. Now, you can go ahead and take what you will as far as the veracity from the different sites because I don't necessarily believe these, but if you go back to 2020 from the forward. Sipa said Wax identifies as Jewish. On Twitter, Wax has called himself an Italian Jew. And then the Atlantic, well, that's relevant. Blah, blah, blah. The forward again, but this one doesn't have a date on the search result. I don't feel like giving them a fucking click.
Fair.
But it says Gavin Wax, 26, is a graduate of whatever. But it's talking about the American Jewish Congress. So I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to click on that one and go into it. However, JPost, which I would say that the JPost, Jerusalem Post, has that's about as credible as the Huffington Post, in my opinion. So again, take with a grain of salt. But this is from 2020.
Mhm.
So again, still 5 years removed from this event. New York Young Republican Club president Gavin Wax, who is Jewish and identifies as religious but not Orthodox, defended the tweets and then it goes on. I'm not going to click on it. So like that's two different sources that both say approximately the same thing there. Who identifies as religious and is Jewish. Okay. Now I'm not seeing how this is like beyond the fact that him lying about it makes him seem less credible in any further statements.
Well,
I don't
let me
like
pause you for just
this
a
isn't
quick
really
half
gotta
second
be
there, Craig,
what
and
goes
read a tweet
towards
from Gavin
that.
Mario Wax himself here. I was raised by my Holocaust surviving grandmother and had family die at Dachau. Who did we host? Who falls in this category? As a practicing Jew, I'm curious. Let me quote another one, as a matter of fact, here from him. Let me see here. This is in reply to James Lindsay.
I had family die at Dachau too. That sucks for him.
Yeah. So James Lindsay says...
Way to be a cunt, though.
Oh, yeah, right?
If it was him. If it was him, yeah. Way to be a cunt. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, speaking of being a cunt and going and fucking yourself, James Lindsay had this to say in reply to something Gavin said. You are ridiculous, Gavin. Thank you for speaking up to prove it. To which Gavin replies, King of the Midwits lecturing Christians on how counter-signaling against baseless accusations is more important than standing by basic and fundamental theological tenets of Christianity. You are such a schmuck.
I could see him also being a convert.
Well, like I said, maybe he's a Messianic Jew. I don't know.
Well, it's again. And then another one. And obviously, this is the most credible of websites. So Reddit. This is as of 6 months ago. So further on the timeline. Blah blah blah. Gavin Wax's. And I'm not clicking on it, obviously. Gavin Wax's history goes well beyond just mean tweets. Once running a news site that published prominent white supremacists, now that could easily include people like James Lindsay. So, on the subject of James Lindsay, we'll come right back to Gavin Wax. Terminal cardboard personality recently complained about, being the kind of guy who put down video games at age 26 or whatever, and then did adult things. And that's how then he went and got a PhD. It's like, motherfucker, I still play video games and I have one of those. And I got one in a field that's more difficult to get one in.
Now. He has a job.
And I've had a job before.
I get.
You understand that you get paid to get a PhD. Like that is a job also.
I understand, but I get what he's saying. I really do get what he's saying.
The problem is he also misapplied the fucking quote. He misapplied the fucking quote.
I try to.
Oh yeah, that was.
I'm playing video games right now. I hang out with you guys, and I usually play video games. But when I'm playing video games, it's like I'm exhausted, right? Like I pulled a bait hive. I stacked all of my hive equipment for the day. My bait hive is like a 2-mile trek into the woods to get to the location that I put that up. But I stacked all the hive equipment. I sat there and replaced the header. I did all my demo stuff. My shoulders are exhausted.
This is all beekeeping shit he's talking about.
What's that?
Yeah, this isn't from Planetary Defenders or something. This is actually just some bees out in the forest.
Yeah, no, it's Planetary.
This is getting the tasty stuff.
Yeah, this is so for those who don't know, my wife keeps bees. I consider myself more of a bee engineer. I'm much more interested in designing equipment.
You do stuff.
And like building things
making use
that
of the
can
honey,
capture
of course.
bees. Well, to be honest, we haven't gotten. So the problem is we're right on the cusp of agricultural zones, and so we're just so if you actually look at where I can't remember exactly which region we are, but there is a huge difference between what we have agriculturally available to us and what is an hour south. An hour south is crazy better in terms of driving by car. And so we actually we will occasionally get a really great harvest, but we also have
Mhm.
a lot of losses. A lot of losses every single year, every single winter
Yeah.
that we lose a ton of bees. And bees are getting really expensive. And so I sat
Okay.
there this year and I decided I did the research into like bait hives and what do people use for bait hives.
Right.
And there's no like basically what everybody does is they cite you this one guy who studied it and he said bees look for X dimensions.
Uh-huh.
And so I sat down and I'm like, what the fuck does this translate into in terms of like volumetrically? Because some people will go out there and they'll try to like hang a bucket or they'll do the other stuff. I found out that there's these the 12-gallon bins at Walmart are like perfect. They're just
Okay.
perfect. They're just about the right size to hold about 7 frames. Typically, you're transferring stuff to a 10-frame hive, but I'm
Yeah.
only hanging it up there and checking it every 2 weeks. And then I just dose it up with the lemongrass oil, and the lemongrass oil is the
Okay.
attractant, and the
Oh
bees
shit.
will fucking find it. Yeah,
So what you're
so it's
saying is
like,
I should go ahead and just boil down some of the stems I've got around and send it to you.
yeah, if you got well, honestly, it's probably cheaper for me to just go to Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but yeah, no, it's like super easy to build it. You get these 12-gallon tubs, which is what I buy, and then I buy the frames. The frames are actually the most expensive component of it. And I could just have the box, an empty box, and they'll just build the shit, but then I have to like destroy the hive and like restack everything, and it's a massive pain in the ass. So I want to have it as an easy transfer into our actual hives, and I just go check on it every 2 weeks, and I
Huh.
stack them up. I've got a 26-mile bike trail that runs
Okay.
26 miles from my house to the end of the bike trail. I think
Right.
it's like an 11-mile bike trail total, and then it's like
That's
a
not bad.
mile or two from my house or whatever.
Like the Hawthorne Trail down here.
Yeah, and so I run a bunch of them all throughout that trail. And so I just every 2 weeks I go and I stop off and is there a bee in it? And no, and I'll pull it down and I've got this whole thing. It's fucking great. But it's, we're about to enter winter season, and
Yeah.
so I don't want to have my plastic Tupperware bins hanging as temperatures drop because winds and temperatures and plastic don't mesh. I can stick them outside in the forest back home and have them sit behind my shed somewhere in
Hmm.
relatively shaded conditions. I've also painted them so that there's a lot
Okay.
less UV interaction.
I
But
was gonna say the UV is gonna be the thing that really hits you on those.
You could
yeah,
also do
but
some
like
insulation too. That'll help them out over the winter.
with winter, the UV intensity is a lot less, and I
He's
have
talking
them.
about the plastic itself
Yeah,
getting fucked
yeah.
up.
Yeah, so the UV is not as bad in the winter, obviously, because the angle of incidence from the sun up where I'm
Right.
at. And then on top of that, it's back behind the shed in the woods. I put them up under a tree.
Yeah.
Obviously, once the leaf cover fully drops, we'll have a like more exposure, but then it'll get covered in snow in the winter, and so it really won't be that big of a deal. Like there's gonna be like no
Hmm.
UV that actually gets to it. It probably gets more UV in the time that it's hanging out in the woods in the summer than it will in the winter.
Okay.
Um,
One of
and
the
then so
mm,
next March I got to go sit
mm,
there and hang all these things up again. Take them all out to all the locations and do it. I got one swarm. I did it after swarm season too, so it was a real big surprise.
Huh.
But even
Yeah.
then, like we ended up evacuating one of the bait hives last night, and we went to it's the same location, and I know I'm like not too far away from some guy's apiary, so I'm basically stealing his bees because he's clearly not monitoring. Um, I've got a couple locations that I've scouted for new bait hives that I'll put up next year. But this one, like, you can be in the middle of the swamp. Like I'm 100 feet, 200 feet off the trail, right? So it's not crazy, but I'm in the middle of a swamp. It's not a giant field of flowers or something like that for the bees to go to. And even then, I was like, the reason we evac'd it last night was I thought I had another fucking swarm. I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't seeing the landing traffic or the landing patterns like I did the first time we picked that hive up, but or
Mhm.
a hive from that location. But there was 5 or 6 bees buzzing around it in the middle of the fucking woods. There was one that was rested at the entrance. I'm like, holy shit, this is way late in the year. They're gonna fucking die, right?
Yeah.
If they had swarmed, there's nothing I could do at this point. They're just way too. There's not enough time for them to build out. Like we got one, the one that we picked up, I picked up about a month ago. the probability that I will actually get that they will survive the winter is very, very low.
You can throw some insulation on there and make sure they got enough food and all that, but yeah, still.
Well, making sure they have enough food. Apparently they chewed through the fondant. They haven't really built a lot of stores, which is unfortunate, so my wife's got to make some more fondant and insert it into that hive. And we'll just keep on doing that for as long as we can. They've been out there with fondant for about 2 weeks.
Throw some siding on there or something, make sure it keeps the heat in. But yeah.
No.
But anyway, on the notes of winter.
I think we're gonna go.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Sorry. The main point is, I play video games, but I don't play anywhere near as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Video games are like I have spent all of my waking hours doing productive shit, and so my remaining time is video games.
Well, believe me, you'll get back into them with kids around. Largely, not just to have fun with your kids, also to know what it is they're playing. So you don't have them coming to you later talking about going into feminism as a viable career path or something like that, and how they have these pronouns now.
Mm. So just a quick reminder there, SBI detected, good follow on Steam, good curation notes.
Indeed.
But anyway, we were talking about the winter there for a second, and we should probably get back onto the point here of Gavin Wax, because last winter he was very adamant in his support of Christmas. As a matter of fact, he said, "Merry Christmas," say it back, and being.
Well, I would say you should do the same. It's a cultural thing here.
Well, it is. It is not in his household apparently, because they had to Photoshop themselves in front of a Christmas tree. But
interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a pagan holiday in general too. I mean, you can say it has been Christianized.
You can.
But
it's like you guys couldn't go to a mall and just stand in front of a tree or anything anywhere.
I guess Photoshop is cheaper, but you're talking about
literally not. Do you guys not have cell phones with cameras on them? Have you never been around a Christmas tree? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, fucking hell. I'm in Florida. We have Christmas trees out all the time.
What a strange person Gavin Wax is turning out to be. And
those summaries that I've mentioned off of Google, which I've now closed, that's as that is it's such a confusing message.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to know if he did convert, when and
you'd think
how he's going about that
in the current climate and cultural milieu, that he would want to make that public if that's something that he's done,
right?
Because I mean, that's a big seller. And it looks like he's the kind of guy that likes to sell. So, I mean, you'd think that. But who knows? But anyway, once all this started happening, I personally, no lie or anything, I reached out to Raheem Kassam, who is a personal friend of Gavin Mario Wax. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit of a dick about things because, this is real super shitty behavior. I wasn't an absolute asshole, but I was a little bit of a dick to the guy. But
I could see that.
I was like, hey, we don't have to do anything public here. Can you send me something, anything at all, so that I can defend this guy? Because up until that point, I had no negative interactions with him. I hadn't seen him do anything genuinely untoward. He had been mostly helpful to people on the right, and Raheem was not helpful at all.
I see.
As a matter of fact, as it went on, he began to mock me for trying, and as I said, I started out a little bit of an asshole, but I really regulated my tone, because you have to do these things. You have to be magnanimous with people. You have to be polite. You have to be nice. Sometimes that's what it takes to get things going, get things moving. And legitimately, I'd have been more than happy to have him on. I'd have had Gavin on. Now, I don't think they'd come on, because Raheem has blocked me, and Raheem is working on a piece that apparently contradicts each and every one of these info drops that we've gotten. Still, the piece hasn't dropped, and still I'm blocked by Raheem Kassam, and still no reaching out. But there we are, and that's the Gavin Wax situation. There's Not much more I can tell you
Well,
about it.
speaking of Jews and Christians, a little bit of a detour on the free speech edge of things that I think I should. This is a good opportune time to bring it up. So the UK has been having some very fun moments of recent. Don't talk about it over there, else I get arrested.
Yeah, don't wear your Star
You'll be
of
one of the
David
more
too
than
close
20,000.
to Hamas.
Well,
Or,
see, that's one of the things I'm going to mention. It's different. It's not even near a mosque.
No, I didn't say a mosque. I said
Someone,
Hamas.
or sorry, well, yes, sure.
And
There was
it was
woman
actually. It was near some
a woman was
Hamas people.
no. This is totally separate. This is a new one
Oh,
from this
another
week.
one. Oh, neato.
Yeah, one from this week, and then it'll be one about a street preacher from this week, similar. A woman was walking down the street, and a police officer happened to see Star David under arrest. You cannot be openly Jewish in the UK. And by openly, I mean passively in the open. Look or have any indication that you're Jewish, apparently, because that'll piss off Muslims. Same way you can't enjoy bacon over there anymore, or acknowledge that you do. And then on a similar note, this kind of hammers home the point that it isn't just about Jews; it's about Christians too. It's about everyone who's not Muslim. Street preacher facing 2 years in prison. Street preacher. This is a country that has a fucking call to prayer at at mosques. Call to prayer in the community, blaring at 5 in the morning, and they're pissed off at a guy trying to offer books in the street, just on a street corner.
Mm-hmm. Listing the
2 years in prison. 2 years look. I thought this was the country that had the Church of England, that the king was supposed to be the head of. Wasn't that something like part of the major schism in the church?
Kind of an
was
important
the fact
thing,
that there was the whole 2 or 3 popes thing. That one of them happened to be the king of the fucking country.
No. The Church of England came about because the king wanted to get divorced and remarried, and originally.
Yeah. Again, though, like as the end of
actually.
it ended up with a major he's still to this day the head of the Church of England.
Oh yeah, the sovereign
I know it's
is
a
the
title.
sovereign. So there is.
I know
that.
it's just a title, but he's still the head of the church.
It's not an honorific. It's a literal title. It's not just like, oh, he's the sovereign, Johnny Sovereign. It's like, no, he literally is the sovereign. Assigned
it's kind
to
of
that
like the
what
Pope
value
is
you
the
will.
king of. It's kind of like the Pope is the king of the church in Vatican City. He's the king of Vatican City.
Very much is.
And he's also the Holy See or whatever.
Which, by the way, I don't think that this new fucking Pope is all that great either. What with the setting aside, making a taquilla area. So
Yeah,
good
yeah, that's right. He made a prayer rug area, didn't he?
Yeah, he said, "Here, this is where you may start your conquest of us. Please begin here
in Vatican City." Yeah,
yeah.
And look, as a Jew, I'm not gonna. There's certain things about Christianity I'm not gonna be happy about, but again, it's also not my religion, and thankfully, Christianity went through a reformation where they toned down their conquest shit.
They weren't your tables that were turned over, so it's okay, brother.
Look, they've gone through a reformation and they've toned down the crazy shit. Islam is still like 700 or 800 years away from that. As things are progressing, it's probably going to be more like a couple thousand years, but we'll see where things go. In any event, the country that has a literal fucking head of church, Christian church, Catholic, whatever it is, like the Church of England's head is the sovereign of the country.
Mm-hmm.
That is the place that is now arresting street preachers, or threatening them with 2 years in prison otherwise. That's arresting Jews on the street for being Jewish. That's it. And then is allowing Muslims to put out calls to prayer from their mosques, blaring it at 5 a.m. in communities. Apparently, preaching on the street is a breach of peace, but waking everyone up at 5 a.m. with your annoying shit is not a breach of peace. Mm-hmm. I don't know how the fuck they're squaring that circle, but it's fucking ridiculous.
Or I know. For instance, you have a home, or you have a church, or mosque in this case, or you have a park, or you have a front yard, or a backyard, or a sidewalk, or anywhere that is not a public road to do your fucking bullshit prayer 5 fucking times a day. And where do some of these individuals choose? Oh, look, hey, that's a lorry. That's a double-decker bus. That is the perfect place for me to put down my fucking prayer rug.
Or another one. I thought this one was particularly fucking funny when it first happened, but it's only, in the wry sense of humor I have. In Scotland, following the Abortion Protected Zone Directive, which is UK law, so that's the reason it's relevant, where people with homes within protected zones who disagree with abortion asked the question, well, what the fuck do I do? And they said, well, if you have your curtains open, you're not allowed to think. Remember, people getting arrested for silently praying too close to an abortion center and then being asked what they're doing, and if they said that they were silently praying, they got arrested. Asking the question, well, what do we do if we would, and they basically said, you're not allowed to have those bad thoughts with the curtains open. I'm sorry, but if someone closes their eyes and you say, aha, they're silently praying for the aborted fetuses, arrest them inside their own fucking home. And we fought a revolution over for fucking tea taxes, and the shit they're doing over there
and guns
makes sure. But again, the thing is, like, I'm an American. I'm getting pissed off about this shit from across the fucking ocean.
Well, I think it pisses us off because fundamentally the UK is a vassal state of the United States.
Yes. I do agree. But again, like, the thing that really, like, it pisses, like, I have friends over there, and I feel for them and all.
Hold on. Let me just see if I can square this circle correctly. Are you saying, Steve, that we have no kings?
I'm saying.
I was going to pull it full circle. You got there first.
I'm saying
Go for it.
The United States not only doesn't have a king, but we basically conquered theirs.
Also, fuck the king.
How about that?
I love being able to say that and having no issues with it whatsoever. Fuck the king.
And just a real quick side note to that: in the places where they have a king and they have a no kings protest, well, they wouldn't want to offend the royalty tremendously.
Canada,
so they
Canada, Sweden, and where else? Canada, Sweden, and the UK.
Yeah. So it's no tyrants. No tyrants protest there. Because they can't. They love kings. Actually, they're just
They just don't like Trump. Which what they really should call it is no Trump protest, because that's what they're angry about. And my favorite part about their protest, of course, is one, the fact that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about in general, but two, the fact that they were just poo-pooing and tearing down the statues of the people that they are now trying to claim that they somehow represent. Like, motherfucker, you guys were getting rid of Thomas Jefferson statues and George Washington statues. You guys are all liars. Not one of them was upset about it before.
And speaking of statues,
like, yeah, let's get rid of that.
Destroyed.
That's a terrible history.
Let's go ahead and mention it. One of the most iconic images of the past decade is that burning face of Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
That is like it is as iconic as Mount Rushmore, and its implications are much darker.
Well, again, like these are the people that were all for erasing our history before, and now they want to go back and cite it and try to wear it as a skin suit to be upset about Trump. I just could not give less of a shit what their opinions are about Trump, because they don't actually have any real opinions. They just get an email update, and the NPC chip gets changed out. All they do is do reactionary, raging shit. Like, and again, I agree with Steve that I'm glad they're out there doing, parades on Saturdays to get outside and enjoy the sun. and again, it is the American way to protest. The ones that show up in front of the ICE detention center and actively prohibit the people we pay to do the job we voted in someone to tell them to do. Like, that part pisses me off. But like the out there protesting the sign, I'll mock them because they look funny, but I think it's their right and that's what they should be doing.
To be clear, right? Like, I actually don't even have an issue with the people who are interfering with ICE. But like civil disobedience is also part of the American tradition, and it should be celebrated.
Civil disobedience.
However, civil disobedience should also be punished, right? Like, it means nothing if you decide to violate the law and you get no punishment for it. Then the symbolism of civil disobedience is fundamentally
it's symbolism. It's symbols of the simple-minded.
Well, no, it's not that. It's that, like, the point of civil disobedience is that you're going to break the law because you feel it's important, and you're going to face the punishment because you feel it's important. If there's no punishment, then there's no point.
Yeah, people must be held to account for what they've done.
Well, yeah.
And it's not just like the people who are breaking the law should not just be held to account. They should want to be held to account because that's the significant aspect of what they did.
But you see, this is the fundamental issue that I have, is because the ICE people aren't out there like abusing people, and every ride-along video that is done, every body cam video that's published shows this. They are enforcing the fucking law, which is specifically what these people are against. I'm not talking about the No Kings protests anymore. I'm talking about the anti-ICE people that sit outside the gate and delay cars getting in and out, or just flat out fucking assault the officers. Like, these people are not there to do civil disobedience. They are there to actively hinder us enforcing our own laws in this country. They do not want people to be held to account. Fundamentally. They're not going to want themselves to be held to account because they don't want anyone else held to account. They're specifically there to impede our law enforcement from doing their job. And that's the thing I'm annoyed with, is that they are there preventing the shit that the majority of the country, cut it whichever dimension you want to cut it along, the majority of the country voted for exactly what ICE has been doing. And they're trying to impede that. Fuck them. They're just upset they didn't win. Fuck them.
Again, right, like, I think it's great that they want to do that. We need to arrest them and prosecute them and all the other stuff. Not because I think what they're doing is, like, significant and violent or whatever, but because it matters to them. Like, they're sitting there and breaking the law intentionally, so we need to sit there and hold them into account. Predominantly because otherwise they're breaking the law is meaningless.
Note, using legal means that are currently available and can be used without breaking any laws or changing anything.
Right. These like people, like, if you want to break the law, that's fine. It doesn't make me mad if they want to sit there and interfere with ICE's duties, but they need to be prosecuted for it.
Again, the thing that I was zeroing in on there is that these are people who are not interested in engaging in civil disobedience. They're interested in preventing law from being followed, including the part where someone gets punished for breaking the law in general. Like, if this was a sit-in where they all sat down in front of the driveway and impeded a car that way, and then they got their slap on the wrist in court and they claimed their civil disobedience victory, that is entirely different from trying their hardest to prevent them from actually doing the job. Like, the part of the point of that is the visibility and raising of awareness. That's the raison d'etre of all activism, is going to be raising awareness of shit. They're just interested in specifically impeding it, not with any kind of legal outcome where there's a change in law or there's a change in policy. They just want to fuck up the ability of the system to function.
Man, I've got something here that I have to read that is so timely and so appropriate that I don't think I have to read. This is a conversation between two individuals. It takes place in a video game, of all places. Mm-hmm. I'll just read it because I can't do it any more justice than just to read the lines.
All right.
To begin with, we're not what you would call human. Over the past 200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we. Cut the crap. If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net? Jack, don't be silly. Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind? What? Jack, listen carefully like a good boy. The mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the human race lay open to us. We started with genetic engineering, and at the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself. But there are things not covered by genetic information. What do you mean? Human memories, ideas, culture, history. Genes don't contain any record of human history. Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature? We've always kept records of our lives, through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books. But not all that information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on, not unlike genes, really. That's what history is, Jack. But in the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible. Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander. All this junk data preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate. It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution. Ryden, you seem to think that our plan is one of censorship. Are you telling me it's not? You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context. Create context? The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards the development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtaposition of morality around you. Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans. Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims. Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing. Be nice to other people, but beat out the competition. You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed. But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed. You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths spun by different interests continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems. Everyone withdraws into their own small, gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their own little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large. The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right. Not even natural selection can take place here. The world, is being engulfed in truth. And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. We're trying to stop that from happening. It's our responsibility as rulers, just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species. And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and what's not? Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations? That's what it means to create context. I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on. But is that even your own idea? Or something Snake told you? That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will. That's not true. I have the right. Does something like a self exist inside of you? That which you call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being. In this era of ready-made truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel. Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that it would endow you with some sense of strength. That's crap, is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you, all right then, explain it to him? Jack, you're simply the best, and you've got here all by yourself. Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit of soul searching? Don't think you'll find anything, though. Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashioned, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. In denial, you simply resort to looking for another more convenient truth in order to make yourself feel better, leaving behind an instant the so-called truth you once embraced. Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth? Should someone like you even have the right to decide? You've done nothing but abuse your freedom. You don't deserve to be free. We're not the ones smothering the world. You are. The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single individual has the potential to ruin the world. And the age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species. Building a legacy involves figuring out what is wanted and what needs to be done for that goal. All this you used to struggle with. Now, we think for you. We are your guardians, after all. You want to control human thought, human behavior? Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays. That's what this exercise was designed to prove. You fell in love with me just as you were meant to, after all. Isn't that right, Jack? Ocelot was not told the whole truth, to say the least. We rule an entire nation. Of what interest would a single soldier, no matter how able, be to us? The words will echo forever throughout time, because my God, are we living those words? Like that's it. That is the world of today, and we have sadly found ourselves there. But because
See, I like the absurdist interpretation from Doom. And I'm not talking about the video games and the movies. There's actually a book series, the original book series. It is based on the game.
Did you say Doom or Dune?
I mean Doom as in gloom and doom kind of Doom.
Got it.
Doom 95 predates the book series by David Abhue. But the book series is based on the video game, mind you. But he made an excellent book series, and the absurdist interpretation towards the end is so very fucking great that largely the universe is a literary joke. Like you can tell kind of he was reaching towards the end of the book series. There's 4 of them. But that's the this effectively predates the modern internet. So there's also that.
Yeah, there's a lot of what we're living
the fact
through.
There's an absurdist worldview that comes through it, as in the universe's literary joke.
We're very fortunate that these visionary individuals have been able to say these things, because had they not, we could have gone into this completely blind. It had no benchmark from which to know how
Oh.
far away from what should be we have fallen.
I'm so glad that we have so many imaginative people that live in this country. Just imagine how we would be if we didn't allow them in. And again, the key word there is we allowed them in.
Yeah. On that note,
Tis true.
I have got a great little bit of updated information. It would appear that the grand old party might just be moving. I know. Turtles are slow, but they do eventually turn. So there is, on the current docket of things that are very much being pushed, is a potential repeal of, let me see if I can get this a little bigger. A repeal of INA subsection 101A15 HIB. That would, oh, sorry, not HIB, H1B. And that would put the American Gold Card, as it is well known now, the one with the fairly sizable deposit required.
5 million, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it would get rid of that. And get rid of the $55,000 per year Visa lottery with the codified American Gold Card system.
Interesting.
Built entirely upon that framework.
I'll say this on the Visa lottery. Like, that part is actually somewhat a good thing.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. As a matter of fact, I very recently heard a really cool story of a Polish guy that came over here and is building a good life.
The other thing is that the Visa lottery does not involve H-1B kind of stuff to begin with. And more importantly, the vast majority of people who get to come in on the Visa lottery abide their visa and leave on time.
Well, yeah, these are generally the people that are wanting to go through the system the right way.
Yeah, they come here, they enjoy their stay, they leave, they pray they get into the Visa lottery again, and sometimes they do. And more power to them. It's great when they come over here because they also leave when they're supposed to, and they generally have a good mutual exchange with us, and we benefit from it. That's the key thing there. We also benefit.
And that is absolutely the key thing because we have to.
This is the key the key component, right? Trade is good, right?
Right.
Free trade is objectively good. The problem that you have when we start talking about international trade is that right now it's not free or fair trade, and so that's like, and the same thing is applicable to citizenship, right? Or to people residing here, right? It's great to have foreigners come here. They can only enrich the country as long as we get to choose who comes here, or it's chosen at random, and there's at least like a control placed on it.
Yeah, like if we're going to be bringing in people from third world shitholes, it needs to be at a very low rate, and they have to be completely assimilated. You know, we can't ghettoize those people. We cannot. It's, for one, not safe for us. For two, not safe for them. They're trying to get away from that shit. We can't let them rebuild it here.
Speaking of trade, hold on a second. I have to get this to download first. All right, so that's that, and then I can drag it here. As long as Discord doesn't fucking implode. Oh boy, just want to fucking face the image. There we go. Speaking of trade.
Oh yes, President Petro of Colombia from via the White House. What's happened there?
Yeah, he's being informed that payments and subsidies to Colombia, a long-term ripoff, is gonna not continue as long as there's how should we put it? Well, fields of white coming across our border.
Oh, so Colombia's major.
So he's
export.
being told. That's the thing is, you know, being involved with someone from there. That's a really sensitive topic. A lot of them are really upset with the fact that kind of business exists there, And if this is a way of putting pressure on the country because Petro is not a popular guy down there.
You don't say.
He's a very weak leader, and this
Well,
is one of those things that might push them to start to clean up their act a little better.
maybe. Just to paraphrase here, via Donald Trump and Truth Social,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch here talking about Gustavo Petro of Colombia, opening with illegal drug leaders, strongly encouraging the massive production of drugs.
There's a good picture for it too.
There you go. But that said, the long and short of it, right there in the middle, in nice capitalized letters, as of today,
Yes.
these payments or any other form of payment or subsidies will no longer be made to Colombia. Wham.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah, part of the issue is that Petro also will talk a lot of smack.
Quite a lot.
He has a very large mouth, and every time he opens it, he tends to get slapped pretty fucking hard by Trump.
Yeah, and his
recall one
checkbook
of the
is-
last ones sending his own planes to pick up the people he said he was never going to accept back into Colombia.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so shit like that. So I'm waiting to see what the backswing on this one's going to be, where we get something we want out of them, namely them taking care. Like, here's the thing: if they asked us to go, because we've designated drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, they are DFTOs. All they have to do is ask, and we will happily help them clean up the mess with our military.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're happy to.
That's the thing. We've done that
on the boats, and, get them to stop.
We've done that with Venezuela. Like, we've done that with Venezuela, despite Venezuela being upset about it, and they can.
Well, despite Maduro calling up Donald Trump and saying, "Brother, I will do anything for you if you'll just stop," and Donald Trump saying,
no, we're not going to stop. It's not happening."
Yeah, that also happened over the last week.
And have a sombrero.
Enjoy your empanada.
I really like this image because it's on the nose. It does what it says in the tin. Gulf of exploding cartel numbers.
Yeah,
just mint. I like it because fuck these guys. They're killing Americans, and that's what matters first. They can be upset about the fact that they have a bunch of dead drug runners later. I don't care. They're killing Americans. 81,000. That was as of last president ago, and then it jumped up to like 100-something thousand by the time Bribin got done with his tenure. Per year, are dying off of fentanyl. There was a video a guy released this week, walking in Portland, of a guy who was in an advanced stage of rigor mortis, dead on the sidewalk.
Oh,
and
is that the one
reason
where
he did the video?
The fentanyl addict is rifling through his pockets in hope that he might have some extra fentanyl?
No.
Oh, not that.
This is the one where the guy's in the purple jumpsuit who's curled up on the sidewalk, and he's in advanced rigor mortis. He was probably sitting on the sill, and then eventually got bumped over, probably by someone going through his pockets, to be fair. But he's on the ground. He looks like he's mid-crunch. But it's because he was leaned over while sitting when he died, clearly. And it had been time until he had keeled over or been knocked over. But they were waiting there for like 30 or 45 minutes before they started taking video, and they mentioned the many people that had walked by while this guy was clearly dead on the sidewalk. While they're waiting for the police or ambulance to come. Again, 30, 45 minutes plus. With that, like, just imagine if you said, "I have an emergency. My grandmother's having a heart attack. God forbid, but it happens. Say it's happening, and you're in Portland. You're not getting an ambulance, is what this tells me.
No.
Like, you may as well call the morgue and order the receipt for the overpriced spot for her body going to the incinerator, because apparently in Portland, Oregon, they don't have anything better to do than not enforce the law around the ICE detention center. Like, just imagine my fucking shock that the system up there is so fucking broken that you can say I have a dead guy on the sidewalk, and they're not without context or even with context. You can say I have a dead guy on the sidewalk, and they're not there for like an hour, on the order of an hour. If police are supposed to be there within 5-10 minutes. Like that's roughly the response time you're aiming for. Sooner is better.
I mean, usually you'd be interested in why there's a dead body. You know,
right?
You know,
generally
look, there's questions that are related to why there's a dead body somewhere.
And in Portland, I wouldn't surprise me if people call them up and say, "I just killed somebody," and then wait for the cops to arrive. Like, it's just trying to like imagine you're like the guy. All right, so like if you call someone up and say like the guy's dead, I can see on the triage list like having active situations above that, but having so many that you do not have the police staff to send is kind of nuts. Like I know that various jurisdictions have been having staffing shortages as well, and Portland, I can imagine why.
Yeah,
but
not
it's
the most
at
surprising
that level of dysfunction is so nuts. It's so incongruous with the normal daily life of the vast majority of the country. It was. I'm not going to say it was shocking because as soon as I found out Portland, it's like, oh, okay, well, I kind of expect this now. The whole Chaz Chop thing kind of disillusioned any notion of the police doing their fucking job up there.
Yeah,
but just
a little bit.
That's so wild. Like I remember people complain. Like I remember living through the '90s. I did pay attention to the news. The fact is, the peak in crime happened in the early to mid '90s. Like that still means that it was on the decline throughout the rest of the '90s, and it was still being talked about as if the coverage does not slide away from that so quickly if there's a downward trend. The fact is, throughout basically the entire '90s, people were talking about the insane levels of crime, and it still seems like it's worse today in these areas. Yeah. Like if you go outside of places like Portland,
some places
if you go outside of New York City, outside of LA,
but man, some of these major cities have.
The major cities are having issues.
Absolutely not.
Like, if we look at the statistics, like the 2020, onward, the pandemic onward, there was a gigantic upward trend, and unfortunately, it has not dropped enough. Like it hasn't leveled off and dropped back down.
Well, these places
in a way that is
basically
amenable.
And have
it's
been
just crazy
for generations in some
because New York was
Chicago,
insanely dangerous in the 90s.
Chicago hasn't had a Republican governor in over 100 years?
They haven't had a weekend without a shooting in over 100 years, too. Actually, I think that's not true. They've had one. They had one somewhat recently.
Oh, wait, no, that was D.C.
No, I'm not talking about D.C.
No, I was about to say, oh, no, there was that one like a month or two ago. No, that was D.C.
Yeah, I see Sam in the chat. How you doing? Yeah, Portland's been an ultra shithole since 2011. I believe that. Again, it's so incongruous with the day-to-day life of the vast majority of the United States. And the thing is, like, we pointed, and I've dealt with this, visiting my girlfriend and whatnot. Like, you point to different cities in foreign countries. They do the same thing with us, by the way. If you think that we're immune from that because we live in America, we're not. Other people in other countries will point to our various cities with major problems and use that effectively as a cudgel to scaremonger about the rest of the country. The fact is, our capital was worse than the worst city in Colombia.
Yeah.
Until Trump put in the order. We had Medellin, Bogota, Cali. These were all places that were safer than Washington D.C.
Yep. Yeah. For
fucking Juarez was
some
safer.
While, the District of Columbia has been one of the most unsafe places in America.
And I remember going there when I was younger.
Yeah,
several times. I mean, it was nice. It wasn't like horribly unpleasant, but like, it was a relatively nice place.
The last time I went to Washington D.C. was a bit rough.
Yeah, but when's the last time you went?
The last time I went was 2019.
Oh, there you go.
So that's let's see. So the last time I was in the area for anything more than just like passing through was let's see. So I buried my uncle 2013 in Arlington.
Yeah, I think I went in
Yeah,
the early.
we
That
did
was
family
still mostly
Thanksgiving.
outside of the area.
We did family Thanksgiving in 2019, and it was just like overrun with homeless people.
Yeah.
Like I went there when I was in fifth grade.
Right.
I went there when I was in 12th. I went there in probably 12th grade. I went there a couple times in high school. I went there. I passed through there a few times in undergrad, and there's at least the once in grad school. Like I've been there plenty of times, and like yeah, it kind of got worse over the years, but there was clearly a cliff that happened where the like basically what we knew was kind of like when you go to like you go to New York. It used to be just don't go past 120th. Don't go in. Basically, don't go into Harlem, and you were fine, especially as like a 12th grade retard. DC was kind of the same, where you just have places you didn't go. Basically, stick to the tourist areas, and you're fine. And then I found out that became a problem.
Yep.
Which is again, it's still kind of wild to me that our fucking capital was that bad.
Yeah, it's been.
And then apparently all it took though was collecting the criminals.
This is the issue. The issue that you have is that there's like the left and the right, for the most part, for historically. This is not recent times. This is like pre-2014 time frame.
Right.
The left and the right fundamentally agreed that there was a priority list, that we had to fund things, that we would put the list in. We generally had agreement on what needed to be funded, and the disagreement was where on that list we should just send money back to the taxpayer. The right generally believes that the send money back to the taxpayer occurs far earlier on the list than the left does. But at the same time, even when we sat there and we start talking about the right versus the left and where do we think we should send money back to the taxpayer, the difference there is not particularly high, right? It would be, hey, maybe we should sit there and send some more money to the poor, right? And the right would be like, well, yeah, but they kind of did this to themselves, so why would I continue to fund them? And that was essentially
they go like for more programs. So this is where
that was really like the progressives are the ones who really dug in and said there is no such thing as a priority list. We're gonna go fund the trans play.
We're gonna do USAID to fund ourselves in perpetuity. Yeah.
Right. Like that was where that shit shifted. But prior to that,
see, I think that there's an agreement there. There's an amendment to what you said that comes out of comedy. Another Carlinism, if you will, that the left Democrats will tell you that they're going to spend more in taxes and then they'll do it. The right Republicans tell you that they're going to lower taxes and they spend more anyway. They're the ones who are going to lie to you about growing the government, which that's about right.
Well, and don't forget, you got folks like Lindsey Graham who will go out there and slow down, Democrats. You can do everything you want.
Lindsey Graham
you can do all the things that you ever wanted to do. You just got to take a little bit more time. You're boiling the frog too fast.
But I think that your point about having that priority list is kind of key there. That there was not only that you have things you want to fund, but a lot of it comes down to where are we going to stop funding things. And also kind of the order of operations on how things are going to be funded.
Right.
Like beyond that, like it used to be that we did have a lot more agreement on these kind of things across the political spectrum. And like now you'll see there's the whole defund the police thing. Like that is so tangentially off the reservation of what we used to do in this country.
Like it's another symptom of the loss of a high-trust society.
Well, I mean, if your neighborhood can stand having social workers and no police, sure.
Well, the thing about it is, when you don't report the crimes, there are no crimes that are reported. So I don't see what the problem is.
That's the other thing. So that's the other thing, and again, it brings us back to DC, how it was solved. When you just let all the criminals go, you don't have any conviction rate.
Yeah, it's like, look, the jails are empty. There's nobody in jail. I don't see what you're saying the problem is.
Yeah, it's so disingenuous and fucking irritating. And here a good example is fucking Schumer and the other retards doing this over the weekend, uh, last weekend through this weekend. The idea that if they walk around and complain about how the House members aren't there when it's a Senate bill,
Yeah.
like they're technically not wrong that the House members are out of town when the bill needs to be voted on to open the government.
Well, this
They are, however, lying to their fucking constituents when they make that sound relevant.
and I this is the thing that's really pissed me off about the left over the last few years, right? I was arguing with a guy about the ACA, and
Yeah.
he fundamentally came down and said you just can't deny the fact that 10 million more people have health coverage. That's a fucking win. And I said, and what I said, the problem that you have with this worldview is you're fundamentally lying. Like, yeah, it might be true, but the context doesn't matter. He says, well, you just disagree with the context. I said, no. If I go fishing and I catch nothing, but I buy a fillet on my way home and tell my wife I got a fish, I'm fucking lying. Like,
Yeah.
that is the fundamental. Like, yes, all of the aspects of that story are true, but like we were talking about earlier, the context is blatantly false. Yes, it's
Right.
true. There are no congressional representatives who are hanging around in Washington because there's really nothing for them to do.
Because they did
But
their
it
goddamn
doesn't
job and
fucking
left.
matter because it's a Senate bill.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Exactly.
Chuck.
And they've been doing this stuff the whole time. And there was one good one from Schumer that I caught a couple weeks back. I hear about the fucking like specifics. Basically, it's like people, the Republicans and Democrats do this thing where they like kind of talk past each other, and it sounds kind of truthy the way they say it, but of course they're specific about something that they'll talk about one aspect of a bill, and they'll hammer on that because if the truth isn't on your side, you pound the table.
Yep.
It's so fucking stupid. It's like, look, God damn it, the sky is blue. That means we must pass the bill. No, go fuck yourself. It's not what the bill's about. That, like, for instance, it is illegal to give illegals health care. Well, you do it anyway for number one. Number two, fraud exists. And number three, you're still funding it specifically on the knowledge that they're going to be able to take those two paths to get the healthcare that's the thing Chucky was talking about.
Or
that
letting them become sworn police officers.
Well, specifically, they are not eligible for Medicare.
Or to
who
become
gives a
police
fuck? That's
officers.
not how they're getting funded.
Well, I think
that's not what Chucky was talking about, right?
One of my favorite
on that segue. Yes, the guy did get pinched after being here for 20 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my favorites there was Jen Psaki came out and said, what was it? She's like, Johnson said that, we are funding them, and she cited a study that says that it's 0.4% of Medicaid funding, or Medicare funding, or whatever the fuck it is. And you say, okay, well, how much is Medicare funding? And it's like $909 billion. 0.4% of $909 billion is a lot of fucking money.
That it is. That it is.
Right? Like, it's about 4 million. Now, is 4 million huge in the context of the budget? No. Is 4 million is 4 million like a nothing burger? No, that's like a lot of people's income.
I mean, $4 million would change my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
And turn it all.
Yeah, and I see what Sam said there. I have Medicaid, doesn't cover Jack. So it's just like, so that's the thing is, for illegal aliens, Medicaid, the exemption that they're going through. So there's two routes to it. Well, three routes, because one of them is just identity theft or Medicaid fraud. But there's two kind of legal routes. One, there's an exemption that they're attempting to fund. The Democrats attempting to fund. And I have there was one guy who had like 5 or 7 line items specifically to where they're trying to fund stuff. So it's like to kill the fucking talking point that they're not trying to fund it. It's like, no, you're playing specifically funds this
Speaking
shit
of
in
talking
several
points,
line
I
items.
should mention something that I almost completely forgot, and we've kind of moved on past this topic. At the No Kings protests yesterday, a number of USAID staffers were spotted.
People are pointing out their shirts.
Yeah.
They weren't even trying to hide it.
That almost escaped my mention, and I couldn't let that pass.
The fact is, they weren't trying to hide it. They were there.
No.
So this goes back to the fucking the chat messages that were leaked. Remember, these guys are just saying faggot and retard in private. Democrats and the leftoids among them openly talk about shit in public that's directly offensive or threatening. They openly in public were celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk, which I think is a lot more offensive than someone saying faggot or retard, 250 times or whatever. They're openly calling for
I think the proper way to conceptualize it, right, is we as a society have defined a crime for speech, and that is that you are not allowed to directly call for violence or call for violence, terrorism, yada, 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 right?
But yeah.
So when you turn around and you say, okay, edgy jokes. So there's the speech that doesn't need to be protected by free speech laws, which is like generic shit, right? When you start talking about the stuff that does need to be protected by free speech laws, which would be things like political speech and everything else, edgy jokes is definitely in not so pleasant of areas. But if we turn around and say that edgy jokes, like I'm okay with saying edgy jokes you shouldn't get like your shit kicked in for that. You shouldn't get kicked. You shouldn't lose your job for that.
Well, the government shouldn't be able to do shit for you.
The government shouldn't be able to do your job. And I'm also willing to say, hey, there's this portion that we say, yeah, the government really does need to step in and do something. And there's probably a point between the government has zero power and authority whatsoever, and the government gets to fully go after you as a criminal, where there's some like civil liability and or civil consequences for your actions. And I tell you, between the spectrum of edgy jokes and calling for violence, mocking the death of a human being is way, way closer to way deeper into that territory. Just way deeper into that territory.
Well, I think that, mocking the death of somebody is radically different from, of course, I think it's, to your point, radically different from saying, we should kill the president. Which, in isolation, if you were to take that specific phrase that I just mentioned and rip it out of context in the fashion that a Democrat might, or a Politico journalist, that's directly actionable by Secret Service. Like, that is not something you joke about in general because of the fact that it might cause you a major pain in the ass in the near future. Vis-a-vis what's her face, the triangle redhead, who held up Donald Trump's head in in jest for her little art piece to get attention, and then she got the attention.
That she did.
Yeah, exactly. She got Secret Service up
these days, but yeah, she did definitely catch some attention there for a little while.
Yeah, she got a little bit of fucking attention. She got exactly the attention she asked for, and she cried about it for 4 years, and then another 4 years, and probably another year today.
Wouldn't surprise me.
But the same thing, like that, there's directly actionable stuff, and there's stuff that is borderline directly actionable as far as imminent threat. So you need to be specific. For a threat to be actionable, it basically needs to be specific. I'm going to get you at this place and this time using this weapon, kind of specific. So think winning at clue.
For instance, kill the Jews is fine. Kill that Jew is not fine.
Right.
To put it in, super simple terms.
It's in the context of the leaked chat, certainly a good example.
Yeah, there you go. See? Topical. We are on point here.
Okay.
Speaking of being
I
on
need to bring
point.
this one up from the chat. So someone said, did someone just say that the 0.4 of $9.4 billion was $4 million?
0.4 of 900 billion comes out to be about 4 million.
Okay. I think they missed the 900 million part.
It's like 3.6 and some change.
I think they just missed something there.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh yeah, so here's something I'll also say on this. Edgy jokes, I put those in the same category as like hate speech, namely that they're not a crime, and they shouldn't be a crime. And if they're a writer as an enhancement, then that should be unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I just like there's threatening speech and there's non-threatening. Like you could make some arguments about those as far as like the wishy-washy nature of criminal law. In like the whole mens rea area. But like if you're saying like not only did this person say "fuck you," but they said "fuck you, you Jew." Like I don't see how that makes it worse.
Oh, we're gonna have
Really,
to lock you up in
as far as the way
solitary because you added Jew to the end of your sentence.
I don't see how it makes it worse as in the context of how they should be punished by law. Like, okay,
at least not in this country.
If somebody, we'll put it like this: if I'm sitting there and I've got a yarmulke on, and I run into somebody else, like I rear end somebody, and then I say, go fuck yourself, you were in my way, and they turn around and say, fuck you, you Jew. Yeah, they're gonna say that because it's offensive because I just fucking pissed them off. Like if that somehow this is obviously a really shitty simplified example, but doing that and then expecting a court to punish them worse because they picked a feature that's obvious and said fuck you, you insert thing here that's going to make it worse. They're going to say something to piss me off, but they think that's going to make it worse for me.
Because you mentioned that, there is something that just came to mind that we haven't otherwise discussed, and there isn't really any other news for it, but you brought it to mind, and it's worth mentioning because nobody else is talking about it. Shiloh, the woman who defended her kids with harsh words.
Oh, with Steve's pronouns.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is not back in the news. I only saw one bit of reporting on this maybe a month ago. They are actually trying to prosecute her for under vague hate speech and harassment rules.
I thought it was public disturbing the peace or whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those like little bullshit things
that
they're trying to do.
Okay.
And they waited, as they knew they must.
I think the language was reprehensible, but I think that she was angry at somebody and described them in a way that would piss them off.
Yeah.
And I don't think that she should be punished for being upset that a kid was in her kid's bag, like her day bag for the kid.
Yeah. You get tired of your children getting abused and stolen from. That's pretty fucking normal.
I think that calling him a little motherfucker probably would have been a little bit wiser on her part, but that's her issue.
Hey, the cool thing is she has the right to choose what she wants to say. She has that whole protected speech thing.
Sure.
Now, who didn't have protected speech for really quite the longest time? A man by the name of Donald. So here's an interesting update on something we reported on quite some years ago, actually. A technology by the name of heel light. It was not created, but I guess you'd say discovered in the 40s and really used quite extensively. It was an excellent technology. It seemed to do very well against infections of the lungs. And then for some reason...
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
For some reason, it kind of fell out of favor. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a pharma thing. Like, we've got drugs that we can give people, that we can sell them.
Well, it was probably an infection thing, because if you introduce a tube down someone's throat to put
it's possible. But either way, there's not really an answer as to why it fell out. It just did. And
it's an invasive procedure.
Yeah, to a degree. Not the most invasive procedure, but yes, definitely. And it does do damage to the area, but that's tertiary to the point.
Right.
What we've got here is we reported on this technology, heel light. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump reported on it himself in a conference. And then the very next day, we have all the talking heads out there say, Donald Trump's telling you to swallow light bulbs to cure your COVID. He's telling you that you got to eat a light bulb.
Telling you to inject bleach and drink bleach, right?
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. So, what we've got here in the update on that is some Russian doctors and scientists went ahead and got back out the ultraviolet blood irradiation that they were using in the 30s, as well as the UV light technologies. And
to be fair, we didn't know exactly how damaging UV is on a cellular level back then.
true. With that
So
said, the
that's
human
probably also
body's
part of it.
no, I mean, there's a lot to be said on both sides of things, but when you're dealing with infections, sunlight is just it's a
I'd rather
good
be alive
disinfectant.
than dead is what it boils down to on that one.
Sure, and your
So
body
if
has
the
the
lung
ability.
irradiation does it,
Yeah, well, and your body can heal a lot of these things where it's just I need to heal this as opposed to I have to fight off the infection, get it out, then fix all the damage. It can just start fixing damage, which is
right.
immensely easier on your systems and the energies necessary to power them. So, yeah, what's happened here is that some Russian scientists and doctors have found that, oh, would you believe that? Would you believe the heal light technology actually does work on COVID? Huh. We were right the whole fucking time. And
Wait a second. Wait, hold on. You're telling me the same technology I can use to get rid of COVID on surfaces outside the body
I know. I know.
also works inside the body.
I know, right? Crazy. Whoever would have guessed?
That thing I use specifically to sterilize all kinds of shit outside my body. That I literally did use. I described to you in excruciating detail how to use. Also worked in another situation with the exact same targeted goal of getting rid of a virus.
I know.
Madness. The thing that obliterates it with photons.
Total madness.
Also works.
Who could ever have guessed such a thing?
I am flabbergasted. I am vexed. I am so confused here.
Flummoxed, even, I'm sure.
Flummoxed. Yes.
Gobsmacked.
A gog and a gaw.
Sir, I am gobsmacked at this moment.
Oh my fucking God. I just, I get that we might want to revisit it, from time to time as technology advances and being able to look at the actual effect of things. But when he's specifically citing peer-reviewed research at the onset.
I don't think he was citing peer-reviewed research. I think he was citing a Raptor article.
Either that or like a Scientific American or some fucking shit. But yeah.
Well, okay, so the part where he says isn't there a way to bleach this stuff out? That was peer-reviewed. You're right. That the lung UV thing probably wasn't. But again, it was the product being brought to market anywhere in the first place was based on peer-reviewed research.
Sure enough.
Like that. I'm just.
But also, too.
I'm glad that we've advanced the state of knowledge on that one. That's really cool. Maybe that's a thing that could be used in the future for other diseases.
As a matter of fact, yes, that's something I was wanting to mention. It has shown itself to be. This technology is very helpful. It looks like it can be used to disinfect the blood of a number of things, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's also been something I know that they've been working on is irradiation of blood.
Mm-hmm. Some of the listed things
transdermal would be best, but I know that they've also looked at extracorporeal.
Mm-hmm. And it shows a lot of potential. It's a very interesting technology, potentially very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
Cool.
Oh, and in another small update, a Mr. J. Jones of Virginia has said that he is ashamed after text surfaced showing that he said some naughty words. Well, the only thing I can say
naughty
he's
words.
Ashamed of...
What naughty words?
Oh, that he wanted, somebody to be shot, and that somebody being his political opponent.
That thing where he wanted
his political opponent's children to die in their mother's arms. The little.
Oh, yes, of course, like yes. Yeah. The part where he was specifically saying heinous stuff, and he's only sorry he got caught. Okay.
Yeah, so he's ashamed.
Clear on that one.
Yeah, he is definitely ashamed. He's full of shame at having been caught and having this revealed. He is ashamed that anyone would reveal this about him, I am sure. But, he put out a fucking press conference and statement and all that shit.
Of course he did.
I believe you about as far as I can throw you with my arms chopped off. So,
I mean, I gotta be honest about that. I could throw him pretty fucking far with my arms chopped off. Now, if I had one leg missing too,
Okay, good point.
I
So
could probably still kick
let's
his
say
ass.
I'm a Monty Python style Black Knight. I trust him as far as I
Okay.
could throw him in such a state.
I trust him as far as I could bite him.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of trustworthy, our good friend and ally Poland has decided that
Oh, yes.
that whole Article 5 thing.
Right.
It's not that important. It's not that big a deal when someone attacks a NATO ally that is not a member of NATO and is not directly allied with any NATO members. That's fine. It's cool. All good, guys. So, yeah, a Polish court has ruled that the Nord Stream bomber will not be extradited to Germany.
Interesting.
The Article 5 inducing attack on German infrastructure by a non-NATO member, cough, 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 U.S. intelligence, cough, cough, cough,
I was going to say, we all know Biden did it, so why are we talking about it as if he didn't?
Mm-hmm.
By we, I mean the royal we, not us specifically.
Right. Cough, cough, cough. But, yeah, so an Article 5 inducing attack on a NATO enemy, or a NATO ally, by a nation that has kind of been doing this sort of shit. It's cool. All goodsies. I'm sorry, what? Excuse, please. So, yeah. There we go. And then, of course, you had the funnier still, Mr. Sikorsky, Mr. Radek Sikorsky, one of the politicians of Poland. You may or may not remember us reporting on this, but immediately after the attack happened, he tweeted out a picture of the damage of the massive amounts of greenhouse gases pouring out into the atmosphere, and said, "Thank you,
Oh,
USA."
Those don't matter. I heard from people that it's important that you talk about these things, but they only matter when they're convenient.
Right. Yeah. According to
look, greenhouse gases matter when the U.S. is involved.
Yep.
Oh wait a second. Oh God, the U.S. was involved. We can't say it like that.
It's so complicated. Oh, and you know what? Now, there's something else that's a little bit complicated on the surface, but not really. And with this one, of course, we are leaning back into corruption, of course. In this case, leaning heavily. So that would mean, obviously, I'm referring to J.D. Pritzker. So, a man of
don't fall over,
of great influence, a very
gravitational.
Yeah. He's got a lot of pull in politics, you could say. Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Pritzker, he's a card player. He's a card man. He's a gambling man. A card shark.
Well, we know he gambles. He tries to stand up.
Well, he does. No. He gambles at the casinos. Well, I don't know if gamble's the right word, because when you gamble, it's a game of chance. And he's a very lucky man. Almost so lucky that chance wouldn't favor him.
Huh.
Well, anyway, I've got a really cool picture of J.D. Pritzker and young Master Soros that I'll just throw in here for no reason at all for you two to take a look at. I'm told that they both like hanging out at casinos. But anyway, J.D. Pritzker won $1.4 million in blackjack.
I am
now
flummoxed again.
I know, crazy stuff. Now, I'm going to lay out just a completely theoretical scenario that obviously has never occurred, ever, in real life. We'll just say that...
Minecraft, maybe?
Like DJ Spitzker is a gambling man. And DJ, he's at the casino. And DJ, he's an important guy. He makes important decisions. Mr. DJ Spritzker.
Uh-huh.
And he's here at the casino, and he sees his good friend. His good friend who, happens to be, I don't know, maybe works for an important insurance company or, global magnate or what have you. And his friend says, Mr. Spitzker, I would really like it if we could get some motion on X thing. And he says, well, I mean, we could do that, but I mean, there's
That
a
sounds
lot
important.
of red tape. It's going to be real hard. And so he said, well, you know what? Why don't we play a game of chance, and we'll talk about it over the game. And they'll sit down there, blackjack, poker table, whatever game it might happen to be. And Mr. Spitzker, he'll put down his bet, and Mr. Rossos will say,
That sounds ill-advised. You know how bets can go.
they can. Well, they can. They can.
That's
go
why you
bad.
say gambling is not a virtue.
Truly. But is it really gambling when you know there's all? But anyway. Mr. Spitzker and Mr. Rossos, they're at the blackjack table, and Mr. Spitzker, he gets I don't know, like a 10 and a 3, and Mr. Rossos,
okay.
he gets a 10 and say a jack, and
boy,
so
that's the
Mr.
lucky hand.
Spitzker, he's like, I'm going to wager a lot of money. And Mr. Rossos thinks, you know what? I've got a good hand here. I'm going to wager even more. And then he's going to say, you know what? And Mr. Spritzker, he's going to say, hit me with that card. He's going to get that card, and he's going to do okay.
Oh, that
and then,
sounds
and then
ill-advised.
Mr. Rossos is going to say,
on a blackjack.
golly gosh, there's no way I can win this. I'm going to fold. It's that was a good game, Mr. Pritzker. You go ahead and take this 1.4 million.
Pritzker. Oh my God! I thought we were talking.
I
about
said Spitzker. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Whoa! This is entirely a fictional occurrence. I don't know what you're reading into this, sir. So anyway, Mr. Spitzker takes the 1.4 million in chips. Goes to the.
That's a lot of
clerk
chips.
And, yeah, he does. Yeah, takes them up to the.
They
clerk
usually
and
help
says,
you escort those over.
Oh yeah, well they usually do. And then you go check them out, take out your completely legitimately earned winnings, and there you go. Shaboom shebang, you're 1.4 million richer. Your friend.
That's a lot of money, man.
That's
pretty good winnings.
I know. So, some
game of
people are
chance,
just
that's pretty
really, really good at gambling. Some people in Washington and in government, they're just super good at gamblers. I mean, think about it this way. Realistically, the stock market is gambling. And Nancy Pelosi,
Sure.
she is one of the best gamblers in the history of all of history.
Oh yeah, sure. But
So,
I hear that her husband is really good at stocks.
Did you say socks or stocks? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was doing pretty well myself right up until this last week. Holy shit, man.
It's
Yeah,
been a week.
you get hit.
I hope you've got silver and gold.
Well, the biggest problem is the government shutdown for my stuff. My stuff's all
Oh
small
yeah,
caps.
that's fair. Yeah.
And like they started deobligating funds, and so I have a whole bunch of little
Ooh.
small companies
Oh,
that all of a sudden got notified their contracts got canceled,
Yeah.
that
yeah.
sucks.
and all of a sudden
That'll
I
do
went
it.
from having lots and lots and lots of money. I'm like, holy shit, I've earned more money than God on this thing. Ooh, that's a little spicy. I haven't lost anything. I'm still like way up, but not as way up as I was.
Well, I've got some good news for you, sir. A Representative Warren Davidson has put together a proposal that I think you might find interesting. And that, of course, is for a repeal, whole and entire, of the 16th Amendment and a full abolishing of the Internal Revenue Service.
I like that.
Godspeed, noble hero.
Getting rid of that.
Godspeed, sir.
It would certainly make paying student loans easier.
Right? Or they'd figure out a way to make it harder, but,
Now, I appreciate this. Obviously, nobody's going to vote for it, so it's like, congratulations. I kind of personally, I hate legislation that doesn't have, like,
It doesn't
a
actually
real
do
chance of
stuff.
passing. It's like
Yeah.
virtue signaling. It's no different than that.
It 100% is.
Speaking of virtue
Right.
signaling and shit that I never thought would pass, John motherfucking Bolton has been indicted by a grand jury.
Yes.
What?
Yes. On the topic of things that people don't talk about much,
Right?
that we should definitely.
This is true.
Yeah, we definitely need to hit this one here real quickly. Like,
But, like, it's still not who I want to see.
true,
True.
but it is
Like,
a good
I-
start.
I give so I'll put it this way: it is good to see an establishment lackey going to jail.
Well,
Well,
he
this
hasn't yet.
guy
He hasn't yet,
also
but
full
he
of fucking
really
irony
needs to
here.
for everything that's on
Full
this
fucking
list.
irony on this one. John Bolton's also a guy who's responsible for a lot of people
There are
getting
oceans
pinched
of
on
blood
exactly
on his hands.
on exactly the things that he's getting pinched for. He's responsible for several people, you know, being on the line for the death penalty for violating the Espionage Act, right? One way or another on that.
And he was selling.
I mean, I get it. Like Bolton was a bad choice for Trump. He was like legitimately a bad choice, and everybody was going, "No, why this guy?"
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
nobody is of the opinion that John Bolton was the best that Trump could have picked. However,
However,
I don't have an issue with him going to jail. Like he should have gone to jail for a lot of reasons. I am much more interested in say Comey than I am in Bolton.
yeah. I want to see Comey. I don't want to see him hang. I want to see him rot.
I just think going to jail would be very useful. Like it's Comey and
Exactly.
Brennan should go to jail if we're gonna
Absolutely.
start talking about like real serious punishments. There's only one guy who earns that note in my book. There's only one, Mr. Schiff. He's it.
Fair.
Shifty Schiff. That's fair. That's fair.
Don't step in the shift.
Yeah, a fun little segue there. Not much to it,
You're welcome.
but oh well, we'll see who stepped in what here. But I have a bad feeling for this fella. This fella being Mr. Beast.
Oh yes, he's going to start a bank.
Yeah, and
What?
yes,
Yes.
he has filed a trademark
if you get a big enough business
to launch Mr. Beast Financial.
So what'll probably happen is he's probably going to use that to manage his major financial investments as well as like investors, as well as his own personal project funding. Like you can just go ahead and have your own bank finance it, then you can build up massive debts and theoretically also pay them off. But you can hold massive debts to yourself and effectively create your own money supply out of nothing.
That's kind of how the
You have to
modern
follow
monetary
lending rules.
system works.
You have to follow lending rules, but keep in mind that the leveraging rate is like 99 to 1. So you can put in $1,000 and you can get out a lot more than $1,000.
Now,
And it doesn't even have to mesh at the end. Just charge yourself zero interest.
Yeah. Now, the thing about this is one of those, it's a big club and you ain't in it kind of situations. There's a fella that tried something kind of similar a while back by the name of Momar. And, well, it didn't end particularly well for him. I don't think it'll end so poorly for Mr. Beast, but, well, we'll see how this plays. I will definitely be keeping an eye on this. But the banks are a tight-knit community. We can say that with a fair degree of certainty.
They are. Especially on the international scale.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Speaking of banks and international issues, I've got another fun update for you. See, there's this organization by the name of John Burns Research and Consulting, and what they do, they look at any sort of data that you might want them to look at. In the recent era, they were I guess contracted. Let me see who they're contracted by here. It looks like Optimal Blue to basically collate some data related to FHA loans and how they're going. And then of course their data here goes from the February of 2018 all the way up to August of this year. And what we can see on the chart here, actually, let me just copy this. I'll throw this over into staff chat so you guys can take a quick look at the chart. It's a great chart. Very good. We have the best charts, people. The best charts. Or so I'm told.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, it's the FHA loan locks to immigrants without permanent residency, including H-1B visa
that was
holders.
Quite the chart.
Percent share of FHA loan locks. And then as we start here in 2018, we see it fairly stable running up to 2020. And then it comes up a little bit in 2021. at between 1 and 2% at about 2021. It hits 2%, eases its way up to about 3 by about the end of 2022, and then it just kind of starts growing like crazy, and then right up to the beginning of this year, really hits a peak between around February, March, April, and then May comes, and some things happen. There's some rule changes.
You tell.
And some laws that maybe get implemented, some presidential orders, one might say. And, well, there's been something of a decrease in the FHA loan lock numbers, believe it or not. Of course, they dropped somewhat from their high at that time of about, they hit a high of above 6% in May. Then probably in June, it was on its way down to about 5.5%. And then we'd say probably near the end of June. Well, here we go. Right in June of 2025, the first full month after the FHA ban went into place, we find the numbers have dropped to 0.1%. Something around 0.5. And then dropping since. It seems to have stabilized around 0.2.
If I was investing in those,
0.3.
If I was investing in those loan defaults,
well, that's originations, right?
Yeah. Of course. Again,
I see what you're saying. With all of the deportations.
Well, not like that. With the ban on these loans going forward as well.
That's going to be a Sally. That's going to be a Fannie Mae scenario, isn't it? Or Sally Mae, whatever the fuck it was. Like if you invest in those, they're going to fall through, and there's going to be a big old fucking ripple in the market. Those are toxic assets.
Well, there is a ripple in the market, as a matter of fact. Oh yes, there is. You see, in Los Angeles, of all the things, of all the places in all the world, well, you're never going to believe this, but rents are dropping. Precipitously, even.
Oh my God.
I know. Crazy, right?
Are they?
Actually, yes. Places are going down genuinely like 5 to 15%.
You got to keep in mind, there's been a couple million self-deports.
No, I mean, and that's the thing, right? As somebody who owns a rental, right? Like, it became very clear to me how valuable legal immigration was. None of my tenants are, but how valuable it is in general to.
It drives the whole market up.
Yeah, it drives the whole market up. It's great for me.
Condolences.
I'll vote against it, but at the same time, I'll absolutely cheer for the Democrats as they ramp that shit up.
Dollar's dollar at the end of the day.
Can you do enough around my home?
Yeah. Like if you send them all to Mechanicville, New York, that's where you all can go. That's where I want you to be. Now, everywhere else, I'm good with, but send them all there.
Well, the last few.
They're not allowed to leave.
The good ones.
They can't go outside that town.
The sexy Latinas. They can send them all there. There you go.
Oh yeah. It should only be hot women, and they should only be allowed to live within that like 2 or 3 square miles.
Oh, and I've got a related update actually. Hooters and Victoria's Secrets are rolling back to their traditional model.
Mm-hmm.
So good news all around, and something that
that's because all the other ones died.
Well, it's not easy having 400 pounds of adipose tissue. Oops.
I hear it isn't.
That's what they say. And the other thing, I'd meant to get to this earlier when I was talking about Milo, talking about how the betrayal of your own people is. Well, there's this book by a man by the name of Dante. It talks about this place that's got some levels, and the lowest level is saved for folks like that. Anyway, and there's a guy who goes to a journey, travels through there. It's a pretty horrible place, by the way. Real bad. But anyway.
Especially for people who happen to believe in a certain specific pair of Abrahamic faiths.
There's that.
One of which, That the third one being the original, not involving that so much, but specifically there's the latter two,
Yeah, there's
and they very much believe in a
yeah,
sort of place like that.
real troublesome situation for certain people.
Indeed.
Unpleasant, you could say. But anyway, on the note of unpleasantness and how unpleasant such a thing is, loyalty, on the other hand, loyalty is a virtue. Truly. Even in shitty people, a loyal shitty person, at least they've got your back. Even if you're doing awful things, you got your homie. He's got your back. Well, President Trump commuted the sentence of George Santos just a few days ago. And it's been a long time coming. The way, sure, yeah. He crossed the line. He didn't cross the line like any Democrat I've ever seen. He
I still don't know exactly what George Santos did. Like the Dems were like
exact
super
specifics, but I can actually tell you. It was a campaign finance thing. He used some of the campaign finances to like get a dinner or like go on a trip or something. But it was, and it wasn't like fully out of left field. It was like it was quasi related to what he was doing, so he could actually kind of write it off. Unlike getting fucked in the ass in the congressional,
it's so fucking lame.
Fucking chambers. But yeah, and so they absolutely just railroaded.
Wait,
him.
He wasn't a Senate Cabana boy? That's
I know, right? And he was gay. Well, probably still is, but whatever.
Well, you assume. He might have met his man mate in prison.
Who knows? Who can say?
He could. I think
he could,
too,
and
right?
And I have a feeling he probably will. Realistically, I'll be very
He's
interested
got a
to see.
He does have an unhinged mouth, I hear.
I very much look forward to the George Santos podcast and the stories that man has to tell about, of course, his time in prison, but more than that, his time in the other prison, the one that he served in. So, with that, he's been, his sentence is commuted, not pardoned. So, effectively he's done his time. He is a criminal, but you're good. You're in the clear. Fair enough. Biden would have pardoned him. Well, sorry. Biden's staffers would have pardoned him by way of the auto pen. Well, not him. You know what I'm saying. But, that is...
the thing. Yes, of course.
There ain't no double standards but double standards.
Yep.
So, we've... We need to be a little bit more like that. Just think of our own, as it were. Because it's important. So, in another fun little bit of news, as I'd said, we would be covering this. There's a bit of a double update. The Israeli official, Mr. Alexandrovich, I can't remember what his first name is.
The guy who got caught.
Yeah, the Israeli spy agency dude. He unfortunately was not able to make his U.S. court hearing on the child sex thing. Unfortunately, he did, however, do a Zoom call, so it was not what was supposed to happen. But he did.
But he did actually show up in a way.
In a way,
okay.
He did defy the court orders,
not the way he should have,
and was not on site in case he might need to be apprehended. Which we'll see what.
Well, that's the whole fucking point, though. If he actually needs to be apprehended,
yeah, you need to be on site, and there were agreements for him to be on site, and it wasn't.
Well, that would be what we do with our allies.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? I think that you'd think that getting rid of the whole Hamas problem and putting our backing behind it would have gotten us the fucking favor.
You'd think maybe.
I'm a little fucking annoyed with this.
Yeah. So that's the whole update. It continues. I
don't care if they're our ally. If a guy shows up here and does that, they need to be fucking handled.
Yep.
Diplomatic immunity should not cover that.
Really shouldn't. Really not. But that's it. There's not much more of an update, but I did say I promised an update, and it's not a good one. There you
Keep
go.
updating.
It's sadly all too common. But here's a great update. We have the very first terrorism charges dropped on Antifa by way of the Department
We
of
do.
Justice. Department of Justice
We do.
out of, let me see here, where is this? North Texas. The North Texas Antifa cell of at least 11 operatives clad it. Well, I won't read the whole thing here. It goes into it. But anyway, it's out of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Fort Worth Division. So not
Right.
tippity top of the feds. It's still at the state level, but this is all directed by the
But it's
DOJ.
happened.
And it's happening. We're actually seeing it, and we've got some
We're good.
Oh
some,
shit!
some serious charges.
It is bedtime for me, folks.
It's
I'm not furloughed yet.
Maybe.
Probably furloughed end of this week.
Still
Or-
got to get your rest. Understood. Beauty sleep. Very
Yep.
important.
Yep. Next week I'll basically be on unemployment, which will
Got
be
it.
funny.
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Yeah. You and I our salaries be a lot closer, Craig. Not quite the same. I'm still be making infinitely more than you, but a lot closer.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna suck. That's gonna suck a lot.
I feel for you, man. That sucks.
Yeah,
Condolences.
it is what it is. We've
Yeah.
been
I mean,
prepped.
I'm okay with the government staying shut down, but I think that you should be paid.
Well, think about it this way. A lot
Thanks.
of the big name streamers are having some issues lately, and I know you enjoy your games. It might, maybe you could clean up Twitch a little bit, give them something a little more wholesome.
Mm-mm.
Just a thought. Just putting it
Well,
out there.
In any event,
Well, it'll be
yeah.
the upside is it'll give me some time to work on some shit, but I think that with a full week off, instead of just like a weekend's barely enough time. Right?
True.
Like you turn around, you get 2 days. You have a whole bunch of other like random errands that you need to run on one or both days. You got a whole week. By day 2, all your errands are run, and you have nothing to do but spend time on the projects.
Oh, true that. Well, once you get those projects wrapped up, man, you're gonna be looking at that saying, "Man, that Helldivers 2 looks real good. Maybe I could hop on the stream."
Well, I was
some
I
subs.
was hopping on Helldivers 2, and then Craig just like pushed off for a bit.
Well, see, you got to be out there doing the solo leveling, man. Got to be op.
I'm gonna get back to it. God damn.
But anyway, brother, it's,
I checked every day for like a week, and there's no Craig.
I'm sorry you were
Heartbreaking,
so
even.
bereft of my presence. I will.
I mean, it was fun. It was fun, like hopping on with you guys and then just taking you straight to Helldive. Although, dude,
That was pretty funny. That was fucking funny. That was a good night. He took us straight in, fucking the
Super
most
Helldive.
extreme case we could, and we just basically spent the whole night trying to survive for a minute.
Yep.
Like all 25 revives gone. So it's like, okay, well, that was cool.
I mean, I'll be honest, right? Like, I used to easily be able to do Super Helldive, but some of the new shit that they put in the game, man, like,
That flying
holy
thing.
crap, that flying thing is
Turbo
rough.
Roach or whatever.
Yeah, that flying thing is fucking rough, man. That is sandpaper on the asshole. It is not a pleasant experience. That is, and then you get the stuff where it's like, these maps, they used to be big and bold and empty, right? It was a couple rocks here and there as you go along. Now they've got like hive complexes and all this other stuff. So it's like CQB battles with fucking 1.5 million bugs, and it is just. I am
and
sure
one
I
that
could.
comes by and lays waste every minute.
Right. Yeah. Like, I am sure I could get back to Super Helldive, but it's definitely not a I take a break from the game and I can fucking do it again.
No, you will have to embrace
Yeah, I
it,
used
get
to.
good, and reach.
I
reach
used
it
to
again.
turn around like when they first released Super Helldive. I had enough stuff to go immediately into it, and it was like 1 or 2 rounds where I ate shit and died. Right, and then all of a sudden it was fine. But this I can barely hold my own at like tier 6, and I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, I watched some of the really good guys doing this stuff where they're doing it like soloing tier 10, and it's just I'm sorry, but that is not what normal people do in games, and it's just the flying roach, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, it's like, you know what we're gonna do just to make sure we let them know who's boss. They're gonna think, oh, I'm almost in the clear, and we're gonna send in a second one.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, at the low levels, you only have one of those fuckers. Well, like, and I should have been like thinking that because all of the factions have units that occupy a similar role, right? All of them have and I don't mean that as like that, but all of the units throughout the game's development. And so, when they did the attack on Super Earth by the Illuminate brought in the first like aerial assault thing. Like the first aerial assault thing was the damn dive bombing mutalisks that you have. That was the first thing on the bugs. But then the Illuminate brought in this thing that just kind of shows up and dive bombs you. And it was pretty easy to figure it out, right? Like, it paints a blue. It's a pretty large blue area. It's really tough to get out of it. But after, like, a couple rounds of it, you get used to the blue spot painted on top of you and how to dive. And you'll die, like, 10% of the time. The fucking Super Roach, it doesn't paint a target. Like, you have no idea what's coming. You're just sitting there fighting something, and then you die. Like, all of a sudden,
you wonder what the hell happened, and you go, oh,
you're simultaneously on fire and on acid, and you die.
Oh,
it's like,
speaking
what the
of
fuck?
super roaches, I should probably give you a cool bits of news before you go. Zoran Mondani. Wow.
Okay.
That's not the super roach part, actually. So Zoran Mondani publicly disavowed Hassan Piker on the news, on television. God, that's
yes. And Hassan was watching.
Yes.
Of course, as he was. When it happened.
Oh, that's delicious. Makes my heart sing.
That is. In any case, I'm heading off to bed, boys.
A good night to you, sir.
I will, when I do get furloughed, I can probably go on Sam's show if he's kicking around, so. I normally can't, because I can't do a Wednesday night thing pretty much at all. I shouldn't even be doing it.
So, Sam, in the audience, perk your ears up.
Yeah.
This is a once in a presidency opportunity coming along.
5-finger opportunity here, buddy.
Probably. All right, talk to you guys later.
A good night to you, sir.
Hey, night, dude.
All right, well, let's because I know it's about the same for you. So let's roll out a couple of cool stories real quick. End the night on a positive note, not an HIV positive note, of course. We'll leave that to other shows. Not naming names. Actually, not naming names. Or
the
no,
AFF,
not actually naming names. Actually, not. But so some good news. Obviously, we had the hilarious thing of let them fight because, come on,
yes,
Hassan got to hear that on the air
on his own stream. It was so funny.
And then, of course, we have the good friend of Hassan Piker that actually clarified everything just a few days ago, this last week. QT Cinderella, another streamer, she went over to his house the day after the events occurred, and she has made it clear that he removed the prongs that did the electrocution. They were removed, and they are no longer on the shock collar. It can no longer shock anyone. So after the events occurred, or before, maybe, who knows, but after the events occurred, the prongs were removed from the shock collar, according to good friend and daily visitor of Hassan Piker, QT Cinderella. So thank you.
Yes, the woman who, in theory, has a boyfriend, but is visiting his house every day for the last 2 years.
But is visiting his house every day for the past 2 years, yes. Yeah. So thank you.
Was it Ludwig, the guy that he constantly just emasculates in public? I think his name's Ludwig, right?
One of them.
But I think the annoying one calls him Jellywig.
Everybody calls him Jellywig now, actually, because it's a really good nickname. I mean, it's like
I'm making fun of Pegasus, but quality. I used to not have any idea what the fuck he was talking about. I was like, what the fuck is it with this guy saying let's up the numbers?
Yeah.
Turns out he's He's just a spineless cretin, and that's why he gets called Jellywig. Oh,
Yeah,
I get it now. I'm okay with that.
made of the stuff. Oh, yeah,
Like,
and
it
this
makes
is
sense all of a sudden.
yeah, it does. So
I
we've
thought
got
he just had a weird name.
isn't that funny? So we've got another little good bit of news here, out of all the places, California, a class action suit, no less. A federal judge has just certified said class action suit. It is for all parents and teachers opposing California's gender secrecy regime and scheme.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. 300,000 California public school teachers and parents of 500 million plus California students are signed on against the parental exclusion policies, and it will be moving forward. So, it's going to court. Good luck, Gavin. Good luck, sir.
Dude, so my favorite part of this. Sorry, let me just. I was just rocking at this, so sorry about that.
No worries.
My favorite fucking part of this is all the people who complain about wealth redistribution in the state. So basically, all the Republicans are about to have wealth redistributed to them from the people that they're so annoyed with. The other tax, like, just think about it. Everyone's going to be paying taxes to the same state, but the payout to the class action lawsuit's only going to go to the people who are affected. So.
Oh, so they'll be clawing back a little bit of their money.
A little bit of their money, possibly some of the money from the other parents.
You know,
the ones that want to have their kids, and also potentially from the Scott Wieners of the state. You know, the ones who would be happy if their kids got raped. You know, because it somehow adversely affects LGBT people.
Well, other people's kids, because of course their kids are all in private schools. But yeah,
right.
Oh, and since we're on the topic of California and good news, well, it depends on who you are, if this news is good or not. If you're, let's just say you work in the homelessness industrial complex in California, well, you've got a little bit of...
Oh, that's a $25 billion industry, last I heard, right?
It is. Oh, 25.
So that's some big money.
I think it's actually about 40. But, yeah.
25 at once. That was it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, there's over the years. Billions and billions and billions and billions. Well, acting attorney, U.S. attorney...
Imagine, though, the chutzpah, if you will, the spine, the circular spine it takes. So it's the smug episode from South Park. Close your eyes and start talking in that dumbass voice. I'm just trying to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Imagine, the people convincing themselves that by taking that money, just the mere act of being paid to do the job, not actually doing it, mind you, but being paid to do the job.
Actively
they're now
saving doing the job, to be fair, but yes.
Exactly. They're saving people by accepting the money.
I'm doing something.
That is some oomph. That is that's not machismo. That is some oomph.
Yeah.
Behind a person.
So to do this justice, I could paraphrase this, but it's so. I'm just going to read it from the acting U.S. Attorney General Bill Essayali.
Please do.
It's into my veins directly. Thank you, please. Continuing. California has spent billions of taxpayer dollars to combat its homelessness crisis with very little to show for it. 6 months ago, I announced the Homelessness Fraud and Corruption Task Force. Today, we begin to hold people accountable by announcing 2 cases where more than $50 million of homelessness funding was fraudulently obtained. Federal agents this morning arrested Cody Holmes, the former CFO of Shangri-La Industries, and a grand jury yesterday indicted real estate developer Stephen Taylor, both of whom are charged with fraud in separate cases. Holmes allegedly siphoned public funds for homelessness and used millions of dollars for his own use. Taylor is accused of lying to banks to fraudulently obtain loans, including a Cheviot Hills property he flipped and sold to a homeless housing developer for more than double the original price. Today's developments are an important first step in holding public officials and companies involved in combating homelessness responsible. Our investigations are ongoing. Mm. This is precisely what I voted for. This and so many other things, but quite literally, I voted for this. Absolutely. Now, another fun one, real quick, and just kind of an interesting note, which I'd have... Well, let's do this in a two-part. And I've got one last one, too, on top of all that. So, part one.
Good for right now.
Trump and Putin had a call just a few days ago announcing that there will be higher-level meetings. That's what we talked about earlier in Budapest, where that'll be occurring. And, of course, the your mom thing. Hilarious. So,
dude, that was so. Anytime HuffPo comes up, I hope that's the answer.
Oh,
I just
your
that
mom?
is
Yeah, definitely.
I hope that shit keeps happening over and over again, and they just get frustrated.
Oh yeah.
That is the official federal position. Is your mom?
Oh, I cannot wait until the rage posts from HuffPo. It will be so good. But anyway, there's probably going to be some rage posts over this.
It's just going to be a lot of speculation. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
true,
go ahead.
True. No, that's fair. But in another vaguely related story, in that there is going to be a lot of angry people, the Court of Arbitration for Sport, in an international body, of course, has ruled that the suspension of Russian athletes based on their nationality is what? Discrimination. Oh my. Whamp, whamp. So that's again.
I mean, we would be apoplectic and through the roof if we were getting suspended based off of being in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Probably go and invade some third world country over it or some shit. You know,
we would definitely find oil in another country if that was going on.
Totally. Just without fail. But yeah, there it is. Now, like I said, that's not all. I do have a little bit of more good news. Oh, that's bad news. Ah, yes, here we go. Prince Andrew.
Oh, yes. That was a good one.
Notorious half-brother of, alleged half-brother.
Notorious pedophile.
Oh, of notorious pedophile. Yes, as a matter of fact. Jimmy Savile. Did you know?
Yeah.
Like legitimately, had you heard that? Because the word is Charles.
Oh, there are words.
Well, Charles apparently, got around, or Charles's father, I guess.
Got around, get around. Yes,
yep.
Did.
So apparently, their dad got around, and Jimmy Savile is supposedly royal blood, and that's a whole thing. But anyway, Prince Andrew has surrendered his royal titles, including his Dukeship of York.
Now, I do have something to say about that one,
sure.
Specifically on the giving up his titles. But if you read the memo that was passed out in public, it just says, "I'm not going to use the title." It doesn't say I renounce it.
Oh, he honorifically did it. Oh, that's even better.
He just said, "I'm not going to use the title," not that he renounces the title. And privileges, mind you, but like,
okay. Well, okay.
Yeah. So
okay,
he went to just being Andrew. He went from being Prince Andrew to just Andrew by his own letter to His Majesty.
No, well.
Now, I'm not sure if so. That's the part where I don't know if there's anything further than that or not, and that's the part where it's like, okay, so.
Well, actually, there is. There is.
Well, it's just like okay, if that's the case, then like, what's the actual damage being done here if you're not actually going to lose the title?
Well, now that's a good question, but it does go further. And with that, I'd like to share something from the O'Keefe Media Group by way of James O'Keefe.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Prince Andrew strips himself of royal family ties after O'Keefe Media Group expose on Prince Andrew advisor John Bryan. John Bryan is quoted as saying he was fucking underage girls.
Yes, he was. That's what he says.
Golly gosh. Surprising no one. And at the very least, a very small reprieve for a woman who should still be with us. Godspeed, Virginia. You deserved much better.
Yep.
And yeah, that's about it. We've got We've got a lot more we could hit on. The only thing I really want to put out there before we close out for the night is do be in contact with your legislators and tell them to be very discerning with the Clarity Act. As it stands, unmodified, it's not a bad act. Lawmakers are kind of talking to banker lobbyists that might digitize an American coin and fuck the whole thing. So be in contact with the representatives. Let them know to keep the Clarity Act intact, unmodified, and it should actually be a pretty decent act that'll help out people instead of, the We Give Puppies to Homeless People Act, where they shoot homeless people. So with that, was there anything else you were wanting to hit, Craig?
I think we covered a lot of the highlights. The one about being arrested in the UK for wearing a Star of David and for street preaching was kind of one of the big ones I wanted to make sure. I think there was one other thing, but I can't remember.
There is actually. I'll read it right now. A statement from Keir Starmer dated the 16th of October. That would, of course, be around the time this occurred. That, of course, would be, this is the wrong decision. We will not tolerate anti-Semitism on our streets. The role of police is to ensure all football fans can enjoy the game without fear of violence and intimidation.
That was one of them. The fucking...
Thanks, Keir. You absolute fucking faggot.
That motherfucker. Like, this is in response to the previous one. They getting run through the streets and hunted down by packs of Muslims. That shit was ridiculous.
Fucking Keir.
Like, I don't know. There's another one. Shops being broken down, are broken, like being defaced. It's like, people talk about shit like Crystal Knocked as if it was just in the past. Like, this is fucking happening today.
Yeah, we saw it in fucking Minnesota.
Yeah.
Just a couple of years back.
Seriously. No, it's not even a couple of years back. They're still doing this shit, and it's not specifically Minnesota, but, like...
Yeah.
New York? I mean, fucking Mamdani making some serious promises about doing international incidents. What would happen if Netanyahu shows up? Oh, I'd arrest him. Fucking what? On our watch? Like, just... How much trouble do you want to get this country in, dumb fuck? I kind of hope he does it because it'd be really interesting to watch. Just purely from a spectator's point of view. Like, all right, man, you're on your own. All right.
So,
way to turn a city into an island.
Oh, me, oh, my. So, hey, how about we wrap this with a fun meme from somebody here? A fun little saying.
Indeed. Go.
I'm not saying we're in a tyrannical nation of autocratic pedophile lizard people. I'm just asking if it were, would it look any different? Anyway. Been a pleasure, sir. Everybody, it's wonderful having you here. Remember, this is a big year for us. We're going places. Small note, we're monetized on BitChute. So, hey, you like it there? A lot of people seem to. So share the links about here, there, everywhere.
Hey, hold on a second. I've got to pull the line. I've got to be Steve's advocate here. Where's my money?
Where's mine?
Where's my money at?
As soon as there's money, you'll know. It is still registered at 0. So hey, we have only opened the door. We've not necessarily walked through it. We're just at that place. That's all I'm saying. So
good place to be, I guess.
It is. Another good place to be is in America, because soon new Twitter algorithm is going to reveal where you're posting from, or that you chose to hide your location. Tee-hee. But that'll be a fun one. We'll be keeping an eye on that
India.
one.
The screaming from India was interesting. The moment that shit was announced.
Truly. So anyway, everybody, been an absolute pleasure. You can find my man Craig there at CraigBob99. I'm Evan. You can find me at That Fake Guy Dan. Our good friend Steve, you can find him at Ratman720. Again, share it around. Tell everybody you know. And, well, have yourself a nice and safe week. And, well, if you find anything interesting that we missed, tell us. Bye, crikey. See you soon. All my love and whatever.
Yes, please.